Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to EduAdvisor's webinar series, part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair, where academicians and industry professionals will be weighing in on a number of topics, ranging from choosing an education pathway to jobs and careers. My name is Nina and I'll be your host for today. An exciting lineup of speakers will be weighing in on a variety of topics, such as 10 things you need to know about studying in Singapore and Singapore Institute of Management, the prospects of electrical and electronics engineering, as well as study BDS at MUCM. Today, for our first speaker, we have Ms. Jenny Chan, Country Manager for the Singapore Institute of Management Global Education Representative Office in Malaysia, who will be sharing with us the 10 things you need to know about studying in Singapore and SIM. I'll just bring Ms. Janice up into the stream. Hi, Ms. Janice, how are you?
Hi, Nina. Can you see me clearly and hear me
Yes,
clearly? Okay.
perfectly fine. All right. Just hope you've had your lunch already, Ms. Janice. Already 2 o'clock already.
I hope you have had too.
All right. Okay. So just a quick introduction to our speaker for today. Ms. Denise Chan is the country manager for the SIM Global Education Representative Office in Malaysia. She brings with her 10 years of experience from both the education and hospitality industries, with a niche in corporate engagement. In her current role and prior experience in the Career Development Office at SIMG headquarters in Singapore, she is committed to guiding individuals to be career ready and discover their natural strengths to communicate better and excel in the workplace. She's a certified MBCI practitioner and is currently pursuing a Master's of Counseling. All right, so before we go on ahead and start presenting, before we allow Ms. Janice to start presenting, just a quick note to the audience watching. If there are any questions from Ms. Janice, do leave a comment. We'll get them answered at the end of the session. So don't forget to check out Singapore Institute of Management's virtual booth while you're at the fair. Okay, just a quick one before Ms. Janice starts the presentation. Let's take a look at Singapore Institute of Management's student life. All right, that's a quick into Singapore management. Ms. Denise, whenever you're ready, you can start presenting. I'll just drag your slides into the stream now.
All right.
Oh,
So, Mina, can you hear me clearly? Just so that I
yes,
know
I
everyone can hear me. Okay. All right. Great. So, hi everyone. I am Janice, and nice to be able to share with everyone today 10 things you need to know about Singapore and SIM. If Singapore is maybe one of the places that you're considering to further your studies, maybe I could take you through a bit about Singapore and SIM as well. So, if you watched the video earlier, you would have a bit of an idea of how our campus looks like. So, as I go through the slides, you also have a bit of an idea about how our student life and what is there that we can offer at SIM. So let me go on. So have you visited Singapore in the past? I think this is quite a picture that people always remember Singapore as, the Marina Bay Sands and the Malayan. So if you've not visited Singapore in the past, I hope the pandemic, once it's over, that you'll be able to visit it and have a look at how it is like truly. So in the meantime, I will share a bit more about Singapore to you so that you get a bit more of an idea as well. So some of the things that people think of when we say about, as Singapore. So for example, best country for children, the most competitive economy in the world in 2020. It's a top Asian location for MNC headquarters. It's like 46% in 2018. And most recently, it'll be the safest place to be in for during this whole COVID-19 pandemic in this year. So yeah, these are some of the statistics that we have through different articles and newspaper publishings. Yeah, so these are just some of the details if you've not actually been very familiar with Singapore before this. So 10 things you need to know about studying in Singapore and SIM. I will be going through these 10 different things. So in terms of education, I will share a bit more about the recognition, the duration in studying there in SIM, the course fee, the cost of living, and also the campus life, and also the environment. So the culture in Singapore, which is pretty similar to Malaysia, the languages, the international exposure that you can get in Singapore and SIM, and the employment opportunities and immigration, and also the safety. So just to give a bit of an background about SIM, if this is the first time you're hearing about SIM, so we are actually part of SIM Group. So I'll be focusing mainly in the middle portion where you see the green color logo. So this is where we actually offer high quality academic programs through our partnerships with international universities from UK, US, Europe, and Australia. And to date, we have about 16,000 students in the campus itself. And if you look at the other logos on the left and right, so we do have the SIM professional development portion where we actually provide in-company training and consultancy services for companies. And also we organize seminars, workshops for different people. So we have about 11,000 professionals that have joined us so far. And not to be confused with SIM University, this is one of the entities that we have that was part of SIM Group previously, but recently they have already turned into Singapore University of Social Sciences, and they have become an autonomous university in Singapore. So just to share a bit about the recognition. So in SIM, what we do have are programs from US, UK, Australia, and France. So some of the universities that you may be very familiar with, you can have a look at the logos here. So we have University at Buffalo, which is the State University of New York, and I'm very proud to say I'm also a graduate from there. We have UK, where we have University of London, we have University of Birmingham, University of Warwick, and also University of Stirling. And we have Australia, where we have RMIT, La Trobe University, University of Wollongong, and also Monash College. And we also have France, where it's a postgraduate program by Grenoble Ecole de Management. So, with shorter duration, a lower cost fee, and a different location from, and a closer location to Malaysia, you get directly awarded by the university partners as well. So a degree certification is exactly the same if you went to the home campus. You actually can do all that in Singapore. So basically, it's redefining also the international education. So you will be able to get quality education. You'll be able to network with people from different cultures and languages, with the alumni as well, and also the faculty from the different parts of the world. So some of our programs actually have more than 50% of the faculty that come to Singapore, or basically at the moment maybe also virtually, where they will actually do the classes that way. So for example, University of Birmingham is 100% taught by the University of Birmingham lecturers. So I'll go a bit more into that later on. So some of the SIMGE achievements. So for University of London, we are actually the regional centre. We have the largest amount of first-class honours students in 2020. So that it's like 304 first-class honours graduates. So it's also to show how we are very clear and very strict on the qualifications and the kind of quality that they get from studying in the University of London program at SIM. So for University of Birmingham, as I've shared earlier, it's the only institution offering University of Birmingham program in Asia, and it's 100% delivered by the University of Birmingham faculty. And for RMIT, we have the largest offshore RMIT campus overseas. So just to go through a bit of the university partners that we have. So if you're looking at transnational education, you're looking at going overseas, but maybe somewhere closer first, or you maybe want to just have an experience of both Singapore and and a different program from overseas. These are some of the options that you have. So first of all, we have University at Buffalo. So it's the State University of New York. It's actually the first public university in New York, admitted into the prestigious Association of American Universities. It's 60% delivered by the University at Buffalo lecturers, and we have the same degree programs with the same admission standards, curriculum, instructions, and degree requirements as if you were in US. And over here, you actually have the option of doing double degree and double majors, okay? And you also have an option to study one semester in the Buffalo campus at the same cost as studying in Singapore. And if you do want to do longer, you can opt for that as well. And it's actually lower cost than studying in the US. So the programs that we have here are like the Bachelor of Science in Business Admin and Bachelor of Arts in Communications, Econs, International Trade, Psychology, and Sociology. I missed out earlier, the Geographic Information Science is also a very interesting program that has just come in not too long ago. And this program is like, for people that, the people behind like our apps like Google Maps and Waze, these are people that are studying the Geographic Information Science program as well. So this is how the certificate looks like. So it looks exactly the same if you graduated in the US as if you were doing it in Singapore. So next we have University of London. So it's founded in 1836 and it's one of the oldest universities in the world and the largest universities in the UK. The academic direction for these courses are actually taught by three prestigious universities and colleges with UOL. So they are Goldsmith, University College London, and also London School of Economics and Political Sciences. Yeah, so these three prestigious colleges actually will have different programs that come under them. So for example, Goldsmiths will be our computer science programs if you look at the portion in gold at the bottom. So the computer science programs are taught by Goldsmith, and most of the business programs, the econs programs are by LSE. And we actually have close to 10,000 students to date. It's also the where I shared earlier, we have the largest pool of first-class honors graduates in the world in last year, and it's 165 of them actually topped the world in their exams. And we also have regular teachings by the LSE academics. So this is how the certificate looks like. So there's also an overseas opportunity where you can go to LSE for summer school, and these are some of the options that you can get. And we actually have like scholars that actually receive up to £3,000 to actually go over to study as well. So this is some of the options you have if you're studying University of London. We also have the LSE general course where, with a certain minimum requirement for your results, you can actually spend a year in LSE as an undergraduate. And then the courses that you take in LSE will be then credited to your UOL degree, and then you graduate with a UOL degree. So over here, we have one of the students example that have actually gone over and done this. So next, we also have University of Birmingham. So for University of Birmingham, we are, it's like the 87th in the QS World Ranking in 2021 and top 13 in the UK University League table. So it's actually a member of the prestigious Russell Group of UK universities, and it's 100% taught by our University of Birmingham lecturers. And we have international business major students where they actually are allowed to, study one term in Birmingham, the UK campus, and also another partner in Birmingham. So some of the programs that we have here are as below. And if you look at this program, actually students who come in, they will take the first year in our diploma first, and then go directly into the second year at the University of Birmingham. So the diploma programs that we have at SIM is actually basically like the first year of university as well. So this is how the certificate looks like, and it's exactly the same if you went to University of Birmingham. So next we have University of Stirling. So it's ranked second in Scotland and top 10 in UK for marketing. And it's also Sports University of the Year in 2020. And it also has the QS Excellence Award for Teaching Internationalization and Facilities. So the programs that we have here are more related to marketing and also sports studies, because these are where their strengths are as well. And so we have like the digital media program, marketing, digital marketing, events management, sports studies. Yeah. And this is how the certificate looks like. And next we have the University of Warwick. I won't go too much into detail about it, but it's basically also the member of the prestigious Russell Group of UK universities. And the programs here we have are we have the Masters of Science in Cybersecurity, Engineering, Business Management, Program and Project Management, and Supply Chain and Logistics Management. So if you're looking for your postgraduate programs, we also have them here at SIM. And this is how the certificate looks like. And next we have RMIT. So it has 5-star QS ranking for excellence in higher education and ranks 77 in the world and 8 in Australia for graduate employability. It's the 19th highest ranked university in Australia. So the programs here are, ranging from accountancy to supply chain and logistics, marketing, professional communications. And this program, if let's say students came to study with us from the diploma first, they actually finish this degree in a year and a half. So overall, you can graduate maybe even in 2 years, 9 months, from the diploma up to your degree. So this is one option that a lot of Malaysian students are interested in as well. So next we have University of Wollongong, and this is where they're top 200 in the world for graduate employability, ranked 16 in the world as the world's best modern university, ranked 212 in the world in the QS ranking last year. And the programs that we have here are the computer science programs, so big data, cybersecurity, digital system security, game and mobile development, and the sorts. And we also have Bachelor of Psychological Science over here. And this is how this looks like. And next we have La Trobe University. So if you're interested in like events management and tourism and hospitality, this is another possible option for you. And it's also a program that you can start from our diploma and then finish the La Trobe University program in a year and a half. And so some of the rankings can also be found here. And this is how the certificate looks like. And we've recently also added Monash College into our program. So it's, I think many of us will be very familiar that Monash College is owned by Monash University, and it's a world top 100 ranked university and Australia's largest university. It's ranked 64th globally in the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. And it's also a member of the Group of 8, an alliance of leading Australian universities recognized for their excellence in teaching and research. So we actually only offer the Monash University Foundation year at SIM. So if you are interested in going over to Australia after that, this is an option that you can take on as well. Or alternatively, you can take on this program and then carry on to study in our own universities, university partners. So some of them definitely do accept the Monash College foundation year before you go into the different programs, for example, RMIT or University of Wollongong. So this is how the cert looks like. And for this is Grenoble Economy Management. So this is where we have the master's program. So we have Masters of Science in Management in International Business and also Fashion Design and Luxury Management. And this program is really for fresh graduates as well. So you need to be like within the 2 years since you graduate. So if you have just graduated your degree and you're looking for something, to continue studying, but maybe you don't have the work experience yet, this will be a very great, good option for you. And this is how the cert looks like. So just to share a bit about the global mobility and exchange opportunities over at our university partners in SIM. So for example, if you're actually looking at really going over to UK, US and Australia, and maybe you just want to be somewhere closer first, to be closer to your family, or maybe you just want to save some money in the beginning and maybe then spend a bit more when you go on over, then this is an option that you can opt for as well. So for example, I shared earlier, the University of London, you can with a minimum requirement of GPA, you can actually go to the LIC summer school or take on the LIC general course, which takes up about 6 weeks to a year. Okay, and then University of Birmingham, if you are taking the international business, you can actually do your second year in University of Birmingham and the last year in one of the partner universities. So we do have students, for example, that have gone to University of Birmingham for 1 year and then they go to China to take their last term in year 3. So with one degree, they have gone to 3 different places and experienced 3 different cultures, one in Singapore, one in UK, and then one over in China or another partner university that Birmingham has. And we have University of Stirling, so it's one term in University of Stirling, and you actually pay Singapore tuition fee. Okay, and RMIT, you also have that option where you can do 6 months in RMIT, usually at the final part of your degree. University at Buffalo, you also get to do one term in University at Buffalo, and you will also pay the Singapore tuition fee. If you want to extend it longer, you can. It's just that, of course, then the fees will then be the University at Buffalo fees itself. And for the University of Wollongong, Australia, students with a minimum average of their results also will be able to go for a student exchange for 6 months in UW main campus. So some of the global mobility exchange programs, these are some of the pictures that we've received from the students, and you can see that's really exciting. It's like just such a vibrant case where, people get to meet people from different cultures, and, people are making friends from people from different parts of the world. So some of the programs, you may be wondering now, overall a snapshot of what are the programs that we do have. Okay, so we actually split them to 3. So one is business and management related. So you have logistics and supply chain, international trade, accounting, banking, economics and finance, and we have international business and international relations, marketing and management. And for IT and computer science, we have IT, big data, cybersecurity. We in fact also have like AI and machine learning and this such. And we have social sciences where we have psychology and sociology, and also communications. So the duration, if you're wondering how long will you be taking to study all this? Okay, so for SPM students, if you're looking into coming into SIM to study, you actually start off with a 6-month foundation program. So unlike in Malaysia, in Singapore, we actually do, in SIM specifically, we do a 6-month foundation program that will then lead you on to the diploma program. So the diploma program is actually like the bachelor year 1, okay? Because a lot of the programs after that will be, you will get exemptions. So for example, then you go on to the diploma and you take up to 12 to 15 months, 12 months for IT and 15 months for the management related ones. And then you go on to the undergraduate program, which will take up to, a year and a half, up to 3 years. So depending on which program you choose. And then if you want to continue on, you then can continue on to our postgraduate program, which will be about 12 to 24 months. So, and other qualifications, if let's say you have A-levels, you have IB, you have other international qualifications, maybe UEC for Malaysian students, you have these different options as well. So one is to go directly into the undergraduate program for 3 years. And for some programs, you do actually get credit exemptions, for example, the US program. And for some students, they may want to go through the diploma first. So for example, then you go into the diploma, you take about a year, 3 months to take up your diploma, and then you continue with the top-up undergraduate program, which then will take about a year and a half, up to 3 years, and you then can continue to the postgraduate program as well. For course fee, so just to give you an idea about how much less, how much cheaper it will be, for the lack of a better word, to study in SIM. Okay, so if you look over here, I have the RM written right under in between the SIM and SIM overseas column. Okay, the row. So you will see the differences in studying. For example, in University of London, or you go to London, right? You will pay about 104,000 Sing dollars. So this is about 300 over 1,000 ringgit. And over in SIM, you pay about 31,000 Sing. So that's about less than about 100,000 ringgit thereabout. Okay, and 93K in which is written over here already. And so basically you basically be paying 30% of the amount that you would have spent if you had gone overseas. So if for people who are actually looking to go overseas to study, and maybe financially it's a bit tight at the moment, or you just want to find a better a good and just as good option as going overseas, and maybe just want to be somewhere nearer first, this is an option that you can take. Yeah, so if you just have a look at this, basically studying the same bachelor degree in SIM will actually save you from 53,000 up to 86,000, and that is quite a significant amount, especially when you convert it to ringgit. So we also have scholarship, if you're interested in looking at that. We do have the SIMG Academic Excellence Scholarship, and also the SIMG Merit Scholarship. And the value of the scholarship is 100% of the course fee or 50% of the course fee. So this is at the diploma stage. And the qualifying criteria is basically students that are taking the diploma and you have outstanding results during your high school. So your XPM results, your UEC results, your O levels, A levels results. And some other criteria, for example, will be strong leadership, interpersonal, and communication skills. And for the merit scholarship, they will mainly only look at your results. And so the application period for the April intake is 1st October to 31st December, and October intake is from 1st April to the 30th of June. So students can apply for one scholarship, and this is basically bond free as well. So you need to know that even if you have gone through a scholarship program, you don't have to be forced to work at a certain place or give back in any way in terms of this scholarship itself. But it's really to reward students that have done well in their education, and this is where we want to support you as well. So we also have the SIMGE degree scholarship, which is also bond free and also 100% of the course fee. So it's open to all of our students, and they will look at your academic results and your leadership qualities and your track record of achievements, whether it's in sports or your artistic talents. And some of our students actually have come through and got the scholarship for the diploma and then carried on to the degree and got the scholarship again, which means that basically their whole education was at SIM was free. And so for this award, actually covers course fee, exam fees, a fixed book allowance, and also other compulsory fees. So cost of living, okay? So a lot of people say that going to Singapore is so expensive, the currency is ×3, how am I going to afford it? But so here we have the breakdown for you to have a look closer to where does the cost come from, and is it really true that it costs that much more? So for example, we put a breakdown here of like food and clothing. So maybe in Singapore, in terms of food, you will the amount that a student will usually pay will be about $600, and over in Malaysia it's about 450 Sing. So this is all in Sing dollars, and you can look at the ringgit at the bottom as well. So but I always say that actually a lot of our students they actually save a lot when they are in Singapore as well, because actually a plate of chicken rice, for example, in the campus itself is about $2-3 Sing. And sometimes even in Malaysia, I'm in Malaysia, and I personally spend more than 10 ringgit sometimes on even a chicken rice. So it's actually pretty comparable. And in terms of clothing wise, I think whether you're buying in Singapore or in Malaysia, it's about the same, depending on the brand as well. And accommodation wise, it's about $700. Usually around $700, you will be able to get a room that's quite decent and comfortable. And for transport wise, over in Singapore, usually students take MRT, the bus, which is relatively cheap, and depending on how far away you stay from the campus as well. Sometimes it takes about $1 just to reach to the campus. And I mean, if you're taking Grab every single day or taking taxi every single day, then it might cost a lot more. But if not, actually it can be relatively low as well. Communications wise, it's written here $80, but personally for me, my plan when I was in Singapore was about $30+. So actually, and with WhatsApp and Wi-Fi everywhere now, usually we don't really use up to $80. And for medical services here, it's just for in case anything happens, but of course, touch wood, nothing happens ever. So so this is just in case you can pick up Panadol or things like that along the way. So the estimated total monthly expenses is about 1,500, which is about less than 5,000 ringgit, and this is the estimate that we have over here that we have put through for you. And so you can also see the comparison for US, UK, Australia, and Hong Kong. So a lot of people, as I mentioned, say that Singapore still world's most expensive city, and so we went and dig through and look through why exactly is this the case, because a lot of us that were staying in Singapore will also felt like actually there are a lot of affordable things that are in Singapore, but really this survey, when they have actually shared that it's most expensive, is because it covers things like housing, cars, cigarettes, and alcohol, and this is not really relevant to our students. So when they are looking into that, the expensive part is actually on those areas. So maybe to share with you some of the accommodation types in Singapore, so you'll be more familiar. So we do have condos similarly to like in Malaysia, where you can rent a room or whole unit, and of course that will cost more. There's also HDB, which is government housing in Singapore, which is where commonly most of our students actually look for places to rent and stay. Personally, because I'm Malaysian and I was staying in Singapore for a period of time, and when I was staying there, I was sharing a room with my sibling, and over there, then we were cutting costs because both of us were working, and so I paid about $400 a month to stay in Singapore. So it was not really even the $700 that was shared earlier. So it depends. Maybe you can, as students, you could find, you could go into the hostels first, and then find friends that you get along with, and maybe you can all then come out and rent a HDB together. Then you can all cut costs and share the cost. Cook meals at home, and so you'll be able to save money as well. Last but not least, we do have hostel options at the bottom that you can see. We don't have our own hostels, but we do have a number that we recommend to students. So it's 2 to 4 pack sharing, and the costs about 450 to 800 per month, and the location is only about 10 to 20 minutes away from the campus. So for the campus life, okay, we believe in studying hard and also play hard, and that we believe that developing network for future contact is really very important. So we actually have students right now from 40 over different countries, 172,000 alumni, 16,000 students annually, and we have and students who love your clubs and societies in school. You will love this as well, because we have more than 70 student clubs in SIM, and currently to date we have about 20% of our students are international students, which includes our Malaysian students, which is one of the highest numbers, which adds up to about 3,500 international students. So for campus life, what else is there? Okay, so we do have Project 1095. And what does this mean? 1095 is 365 days times 3. So we believe that, in this 365 days times 3, 1095 days, what should you be doing, in your campus life to support you in getting the job that you want in future? Because that's what we do, right? We study, many of us study and get our degree because we want to secure a good job in future. So the first and foremost support that we have is our Career Connect office, where we provide career guidance. We organize career fairs, professional trainings for students. We have global learning, whereby we do summer schools, exchange, and holiday programs. So if let's say you really want to go somewhere else for the UK, US, Australia, Hong Kong, China, Korea even, that these are some options for you. We have learning support as well. So we do have tuition in degree, right, usually, and also diploma, but we do have our seniors that come back and help their juniors with their studies. And then we also have close to 80 student clubs, and it goes by nationality. So I will share a bit more about that later. It goes by the university and your interests. If you're interested in accounting, we have a club for you. If you're interested in cons, we have a club for you. Photography, sports as well, and also arts and culture. So the Career Connect office, as I shared, we organize career fairs for students every year. So in fact, for Malaysia, we are going to have one at the end of this month, just specifically for Malaysian companies to hire our Malaysian students, whether it's for their internship or for their degree. For their internship or for their career, their full-time jobs. So this is an option that we have for our students, and it's actually attended by more than 100 employers each year. And we have our own online portal called Unicorn. So this portal is where our employers will actually post their jobs and to hire our students. We will also organize international student career forums, and also we also have career champs. Career champs is sort of like a group of students who are interested in a certain kind of career, and they come together and find activities and meet employers of that certain career pathway. Next, we have the Global Learning Exchange Program. So these are some of we have inbound and outbound, because, if there's also an opportunity for you to meet students from overseas. For example, over here, we have students from Korea that came over to Singapore, and then this is where you get an opportunity to get, this cultural exposure, even though you're not in Korea. Yeah. And then outbound is where students actually go overseas to overseas universities. and the student learning support. And this is where I shared earlier that we do have our seniors that would come and help with our juniors in their studies. We have a student wellness center, which is where we take care of your mental health as well. So this room over here, this center over here, is where you go there, you just relax and chill, no studying. You can even go there and take a nap if you need to. Yeah, because we do care about how your well-being is as well. So we also organize workshops, and also we have like peer-assisted learning programs that are for our students. Student clubs and societies, as I've shared earlier, we have student councils, for example, outdoor adventure club, basketball team, and all sorts of different sports. We have music, strings, ensemble. We have the International Affairs Society and international student clubs. And this is where I'd like to share about MUCM, which is our Malaysian community in SIM. So over here, it's, they have the vision to serve all Malaysians. So every time there's a Malaysian that comes in, they're super excited and they're there to greet you, welcome you, and ask you to come and join us, for their events, like whether it's Chinese New Year or any charity events. They will always organize events so that the community stays like a family. So you have a home away from home, even if you're not in Malaysia. We also have student ambassadors. So this is a diverse group of students who are very proud to serve as student ambassadors in SIM. Okay, and then these are some of the things that they do. They also get to go through a lot of training, for example, how to boost their confidence, how to develop their leadership, and you can be also part of this student ambassadors as well. And we also have the International Students Buddy Program, so where it's a pairing between you and also a student that is already in SIM. So this is where you get to make new friends and be guided and get tips along the way and how to settle down in Singapore, and it's a complimentary service. And yeah, so this is also one of the testimony from one of our students that has gone through this buddy program. So some of the details about, the experience of a lifetime in Singapore, so these are some of the things similarly to what I've shared earlier part, of what are some of the things that people say about Singapore over here. So like, for example, safest place to be in Singapore, safest place to be during the pandemic, the most competitive economy last year, top 10 lists for world talent rankings, and the list goes on. So some of the MNCs in the company in the world have actually also set up their HQ, their headquarters in Singapore. So for example, Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Dyson, you will see that actually 59% of technology MNCs headquarters are already in Asia or in Singapore, and about 46% of MNCs headquarters in Asia are actually in Singapore, which also goes to show how there is actually a lot of room and opportunity for students that want to look for their career in these sort of companies in Singapore. Culturally, I think you'll be familiar that we are quite similar to Malaysia in terms of religion, multicultural, the differences where it's also similarly Chinese, Malay, Indian, Eurasian. We also have we are also very diverse but also harmonious, and also very exciting and also very easy to adapt at the same time. And for languages, I think, that the working language is English, I think quite similarly in some areas over here. And it's also multilingual, where people all speak in Chinese, Malay, Tamil, and all the different dialects. And it's also an avenue to pick up a new language and a platform to improve English for many of us that previously don't use English much. So for example, when I was back in Malaysia, maybe I was speaking a lot more Mandarin, and then when I go into Singapore, then I suddenly have a lot more friends who converse in English as their first language. Yeah. So international exposure as well. So as I've shared similarly to earlier about how there's many multinational corporations in Singapore now, and therefore there's opportunity for jobs. In terms of technology, in the forefront, we have Singapore, who is very into advancing in technology all the time, in business as well. And in 2018, before this whole pandemic happened and all that, there were actually 18.5 million tourists in Singapore, and therefore believe that if let's say tourism hospitality is a career that you're interested in as well, in the maybe next few years when things are better, we also expect it to be booming again. So for employment opportunity and immigration, just a quick one. So just to share that, in Singapore, the average fixed minimum salary in Singapore is actually about 2,400 Sing dollars. So that's about 7,200 ringgit. And in Malaysia, just to give you an idea, it's about RM 2006 for our fresh graduates. And where we will support you in this is, of course, we do have our annual career fair, which I've shared earlier, where, in recent years, we've had more than 100 companies that have joined and over 1,000 students that were over there looking for their jobs. And the average salary of our graduates is actually about 3,500. So these are some of the companies that we work very closely with in SIM. And a lot of our students, when we get the survey back, we actually realize that they are all matching the job market demands as well in the top 5 growing industries. So these are the percentage of where our full-time students are employed at and where they are, which sort of companies that in industries they're growing at. So to give you an idea of the average pay and salary that our students get, it ranges from like University of London, 3,000 plus, and most of them are all in the higher amount of 2,000s. So about 2007, 2008. If you look at University of Wollongong, because it's a computer science program in SIM, so their pay is actually a lot higher as well. So just to share a bit about the graduates that we're very proud of, some of them are over here, shown here, that they are working in Singapore now, and you can see that they have all sorts of different background and where they are currently working at in Singapore. And we also have students that come back to Malaysia to work over here. Some have also become entrepreneurs and founded their own companies at the same time as well. So in terms of safety, it's actually one of some of the stats that you see are, safety is priority for a lot of Singaporeans, and therefore they are very strict on the safety. So for example, whether it's in doing business or, how it's in terms of statistics on the safest country and second safest country in the world and nicest city to live in Asia. So you can see all the statistics here. I have my own personal story. I have had a situation whereby I left my phone in the toilet when I was at a mall, and I went back to have my dinner at a restaurant. And after about, I think, a good half an hour, where I was like, oh no, I don't know where I put my phone. So I rushed back to the toilet. And the amazing thing was there was someone there who was actually waiting for me to come back to give me back my phone. So I was like, wow, that is amazing. Like, I know that people say that it's safe here, but I never expected that someone would do that. And even in the campus itself, you see people leaving their laptops, and going to the toilet and just leaving it in the desk. And they believed and they trust to do that because they know that the safety is very assured in Singapore. So here are some of the campus and facility pictures, but I would actually show you the video. So Nina, if you could kindly help me with the video, please.
Hi, welcome to SIM. Let us take you around the modern learning spaces in our campus.
Shh, this is the library. Let's go in and have a look.
This is the Student Learning Center. Here we have our PAL leader who assists and guides students in their day-to-day schoolwork.
This is our study area where our students gather for the group project discussion or to study during the exam period.
This is our Financial Training Center, open in a partnership with UOB Bullions and Future. It aims to help our students sharpen their trading skills.
We have computer labs in SIM. It's a popular place for students to work on projects or individual studies.
Well guys, this is a popular hangout area for all students to train and maintain their physical fitness, as well as have a place to relax themselves.
Here is the place where students perform and promote their cultural clubs, and it's a great place for them to relax.
much more than just books, exams, and qualifications. This is where you can apply for your club interest, and we have over 70 plus clubs in SIM.
The Student Wellness Center is dedicated to a hub of activities and optimal living. Also, you can take power naps. Come on, let's play a game.
This is the tennis court where we train our next Roger Federer.
This is our multi-purpose sport hall, equivalent of 4 basketball courts. You can play over 6 sports in this hall.
This is our dance studio where students and clubs have their practices. Our students can book it via Zoom Connect.
Welcome to our performance art theatres. This is where our arts and cultural activities takes place. It has a capacity of 450 audiences.
Thank you for joining us on this tour of our campus.
Okay, so I hope this gives you an idea of the campus itself. So just to quickly share also, this is my contact. So if you look at the number over here, that's my WhatsApp number. So you can feel free to contact me anytime if you have any questions as well. And we also have our booth. So if you have any questions along this week, please do feel free to drop by and also let us know if you have any questions that we can help you with. So in the meantime, maybe I'll take some questions. Nina.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
So I see the first question from Gina.
Yes.
So is accommodation provided throughout my studies at SIM, or will I have to look for a rental once I've entered my second year? Okay, so our students are actually amazing, very, very independent. So usually what we have is once the students have already decided to come to Singapore, we may give them some advice on, okay, you can look for these hostels, or maybe this is a contact of a person that you can that will be able to guide you with where to stay. So the students generally do look for their own places to stay. So I think I shared earlier, some students, what they do is they go to a hostel first, then they make friends with the different people in the hostel, and then they choose to move out together. So then you actually know that, the people that you're staying with are people that you actually like, and not people that you want to like, why the person not washing the dishes and things like that. So to answer that, basically the accommodation will have to be looked for by our students themselves.
All right.
Yeah. So SIM, fun fact, is actually very close by to a lot of the other universities nearby. So actually there's a lot of rooms that are out for rent around the area as well. Okay. Yeah, so another question is, does the program offered by the foreign unis mean that I can do half of my studies at that uni? Thank you for that question. So yeah, depending on which program that you're looking at, I think I shared some slides, not sure if you managed to catch it earlier, whereby, you can do a portion of your program over there. And some of them you can take longer. So for example, like our US program, you can finish your core modules, and then if you want to go overseas, then you can go on and do it after. So we do have students that have actually opted for that option because right now maybe it's not the best time to travel over there, and therefore they decide to come over and study with SIM first, and then only go on and transfer over there after that. Yeah. But if let's say you choose, suddenly you're like, hey, I want to do everything locally, locally in Singapore, then that's an option that you can take on as well. So if I could give you an example, I am a University of Buffalo graduate. My brother was also in University of Buffalo. So the difference was I decided to finish the whole thing in Singapore because I was part of the football team in SIM. So I was very big on the student life, and I loved my team over there, and I just didn't want to leave in the end. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I won't go to US. I will just stay on in Singapore since I can graduate and I can just go there to visit for fun. Yeah, so that's what I chose to do. Whereas for my brother, he was taking psychology, and there are some modules that he found very interesting in US. So that's where he actually opted to go to US to finish up some of his some parts of his terms as well. So yeah, hope this answers your question. If you have any other questions about this, please feel free to drop by later on.
I do have a question, Ms. Janice, to piggyback on this. Question. You mentioned earlier about scholarships, right? Provided to the diploma programs as well as the degree programs, right? What about courses, that has partnership unis with the ones in US and the ones in other countries? does the scholarship cover the entirety of their studies when they transfer like a term in the US, or will it only cover when they're in Singapore, but when they want to continue like a year in the US, they have to support themselves? Like, how does the scholarship like go about with this exchanging program?
Okay, so usually the scholarship goes by term. So so students have to actually maintain a certain result at each semester as well. So they will look into that. So usually this one is more of like if it covers in the same course as if let's say they took like 6 months at RMIT and it's going to be the same course in Singapore, then that may be covered. But if let's say they take on longer, then that will be covered by the students themselves. So for example, like accommodation and also the allowances and all that, that will when you're overseas, that will actually be covered by students themselves.
I see. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Jenny.
No problem. So I've got a question here from Melina, whether Singapore is accepting foreign students right now and how the lessons are conducted. So this thing is ever changing because of the situation, So just a few weeks ago, that we have students that have been going in. Yeah, and until now, we actually do have students that have already got the pass and all settled, and they have actually been going into Singapore with all the necessary things like taking PCRs 2 hours before and all that. So if you have all your documentations ready and it's approved, then there should be no issues going in. But but of course you need to do like the stay home notice in hotel and all these different aspects that is part of the whole traveling right now. So we are still putting in applications for student passes and all that. So it's just whether at that point of time how serious are the cases, and then therefore whether they will open it or not. But right now, what is happening about how lessons are conducted, whether it's in class or long distance, actually right now it is currently done virtually. So even in Singapore currently, they have just turned it virtual, but just a few weeks ago, it was actually physical already. A lot of our classes were already starting to go physical, and then there were a few cases that popped up, and then it became virtual. But because Singapore is very strict, right? So like in that sense, they want to make sure that everyone's protected and safe. So the moment there were like that few cases that came up, safety first, we decided to not have the virtual classes at that point of time. Not have the physical classes at the point of time and turn it virtual. So not to worry for students that are looking to go into Singapore to study in SIM. You can definitely apply now, and then the moment that classes can be physical, we will definitely let you know, and you can already go in. And if it's not, there will definitely be that virtual option for students as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I can see another question about, is there an opportunity to work in Singapore once I finished my studies? So yes, I would say there's always an opportunity to work in Singapore. But of course, this also depends on a lot of different things. I won't say it's like a guaranteed. I think there's no guarantees in terms of in such situations, regardless of whether it's Singapore or any parts of the world. That's why we really try to support our students even from the first year that they come in. To beef up your resume, to go to find out how to write your CV, how to go for interviews, how to dress up even for interviews, so that when you go out into the workforce and when you're looking for a job, regardless of whether in Singapore, Malaysia, or any other parts of the world, that you'll be ready and that your CV will look so good that whichever company that you go to will not be able to say no to you, or they will fight to try to keep you and employ you. So there's definitely an opportunity to study to work in Singapore once you've studied in SIM.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's all the questions we have, and I feel like I've also like got a clarification on my end as well. Just to wrap things up, Ms. Janice, do you have any parting words of advice for students who are anxious for this next journey in their life, and students who are interested in pursuing their studies in Singapore?
Sorry, do I have any last
words of advice? Yeah.
Word of advice.
Yes.
What word of advice would I have for? I think it's important to just be yourself, and don't worry too much. Like sometimes you're so troubled by everything that's happening right now, but actually there's always going to be things that will be positive in future. I mean, especially in this current situation, I think a lot of us are very anxious, right? Because there's the pandemic, and maybe some of us have just got our results, and then then sometimes you feel like, oh no, what's going to happen, and is everything okay? But I would like to say that things will get better and things will be okay. Just look at the positive side, and for students who come to Singapore, don't be worried about stepping out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it's really when you do that where you see so much more of the world. So I can share from my own personal experience in terms of because I studied in Malaysia up to my SPM, and then I came to Singapore after that. Yeah, and I think that was very nerve-wracking at that point of time as well, because I've been so comfortable staying with my family, and suddenly I have to move out and I have to face people, and then I don't even know how exactly would the Singaporeans be in comparison. We may look the same, but are we very that much same or different? Yeah, but I think being able to take that first step out is a very good way to I guess explore new things in your life. So yeah, I think that's some of the word of advice, I guess. Yeah, just be yourself and enjoy the whole process, basically.
All right. Thank you so much, Denise. That's actually very inspiring and very hopeful for students who are anxious, especially moving to a different country, to pursue this. I think that's already like a different kind of anxious already, but that was very heartwarming, and I hope the students take that in. I hope they resonate, and I hope they gain some valuable information from this session. Miss Jenny, it's been a pleasure to have you on board with us. We hope to see you again in our next webinar. To have us again. It's been a joy to listen to your presentation in so much detail, and I really hope the students resonate with what you just presented earlier today.
Okay, thank you so much, Nina. Thank you for having me. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop by. As you can see, I'm quite nice, so don't worry, I won't bite.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Bye,
Thank
Miss
you.
Denise.
Thank you,
Bye.
Nina. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you to our students for joining our webinar session with Ms. Denise of Singapore Institute of Management. Up next, we have Dr. Venkateshwaran from Manipal International University to share with us on the prospects of electrical and electronics engineering. Don't forget to check out Singapore Institute of Management while you're at the virtual fair. In the meantime, let's take a look at what Singapore Institute of Management has prepared for you. Alright, for those of you who just joined us, welcome to our webinar series that's part of the EduAdvisor's Virtual Education Fair. An exciting one of our speakers will be weighing in on a variety of topics such as the 10 things you need to know about studying in Singapore and Singapore Institute of Management, prospects of electrical and electrical engineering, as well as study BDS at MUCM. My name is Nina, I'm your host for today, and we have Associate Professor Dr. Venkatesh Warren, Head of Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering from Manipal International University, will be sharing with us about the prospects of electrical and electronics engineering. I have our speaker in the stream with us. I'll just pull Dr. Venkatesh into the stream. Hi, Doctor.
Hi, Nina. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Fine, fine. Thank you very much. Right?
I
Nice to
hope
join you all, right?
Yes, I hope you've had your lunch, Doctor. You know, it's
Yes,
already 3
yes,
p.m.
yes.
But yeah. Okay, great. Just a little background about our esteemed speaker for today. Currently the head of School of Engineering and the head of Department for Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Associate Professor Dr. Venkatesh Warren, comes with more than 30 years of experience in the higher education institution at managerial level. He served as Senate member in various universities and his experience managing twinning, franchise, and top-up programs of UK and Australian universities such as University of Bradford, University of Hertfordshire, and University of Adelaide. Dr. Venkatesh Warren has been appointed as an accreditation panel member by the Board of Engineers, Malaysia, for accrediting engineering programs. He has been awarded the Chartered Engineer title by the Engineering Council in UK and awarded as Professional Technologist by Malaysia Board of Technologists. He is also a certified energy manager and a senior member of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, the USA, and the Institution of Engineering and Technology, the UK. Due to his excellent service, Dr. Venkatesh Warren was also awarded with the Best Leadership Award by INTI International Education Group. His research interest has spanned a wide range of topics from renewable energy, energy management, Industry 4.0 technologies, electric vehicles, and educational technology, and has published a number of research papers in reputed ISI journals and conferences. So students, we have an expert in electrical and electronics engineering with us. So whatever Dr. Venkatesh is saying, you better pay attention. So Dr.
Okay,
Dr.
thank you very much,
yeah.
Nina, for such
Dr.
a great
Yeah.
introduction, right? Okay.
All right, Doctor, you can prepare your slides first. So like before we
Yes.
begin, so our live
Okay.
audience watching, if you have any questions for Dr. Venkatesh, do leave a comment. We'll get them answered at the end of the session. So don't forget to check out Manipal International University's virtual booth while you're at the fair. All right, Doctor, I see your slides here. You may put it to full screen mode. Okay, great. I'm pulling it into the stream. Doctor, whenever you're ready, you may start presenting.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
Can I start?
Yes, you may.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone. Right. It's my great pleasure to join you all there. Thank you very much to EduAdvisor, right, for giving us an opportunity to share our ideas with you. Right. So I'm going to talk about the prospects of electrical electronics engineering today. So kindly allow me to just go through the presentation, right? So can you see this slide, right? So it clearly shows that the electrical engineering, it is a very important. The whole world depends on electrical energy, right? Without that, it's everything will be blackout, right? So because it's real time available everywhere. You can, so that's why we are not understanding the seriousness of this electrical energy. If without electrical engineering, without the electrical energy, then definitely the whole world is going to be uh, blackout, right? So this is a good side. Okay, before going to the actual electrical electronics topics, right? So kindly allow me to introduce my university where I am attached with, right? So I'm attached with Manipal International University, which is situated in Nilai, near to KLA. So MIU is a Malaysian university with a global recognition, and we have students from 35 international nationalities, right? So we have 49 state-of-art laboratories, right? So one of the highest in Malaysia, right? We have for various engineering programs, right? So I will highlight to you what are the programs available. We have a very thorough, very state-of-the-art laboratories in various field of engineering and science. Right? So we have a very good, beautiful campus, green campus of 142 acres is a lake campus, right? So about Manipal, right? Manipal actually belongs to a bigger group, right? Our parent body is in India, Manipal Academy of Higher Education. You can see here, this is one, which is actually one of the top institution, highly reputed institution in India, right? We have branches in Sikkim, in Jaipur, in other parts of India, and also in Antigua in South America, right? And also in Dubai, and we have in Nepal. In Malaysia, there are two universities here, right? So one is in Nilai, which is where I belong, and another university we have in Malacca Manipal Medical College, or now we call as Manipal University College, Malaysia, right? So they are offering medical and dental programs. In Nilai, we do offer engineering programs, various engineering programs, biotechnology programs, and science business programs. Right? So these are some of our alumni that you can see. Like Satya Nadella is alumni of Microsoft, and this one Vikash Khanna is one of the top chef in the world, right? And again, these are the CEO of this is a Grammy award. These are our engineering graduates, right? Later become as a CEOs and top-notch professionals in the world, right? This is not a very important thing. We are aware of that. Dr. Sheikh Mushafar is our first astronaut. So I think in 2007 he went to International Space Station, right? So he's also an alumni of Manipal, right? Actually, he's a orthopedic surgeon, right? So recently we acquired 5-star rating in the Satara, right? So this is our campus, right? So we do have 3 schools: School of Engineering, School of Business and Management, and School of Biotechnology. And under the School of Engineering, these are the programs offered under School of Engineering, right? So we have 6 degree programs: Bachelor of Civil Engineering program, Bachelor of Chemical Engineering program, Bachelor of Computer Engineering program, Bachelor of Electrical Electronics Engineering program, Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering program, all with honors. And also we have Bachelor of Computer Science program, which is a 3 years program. And we have 3 diploma program: diploma in civil engineering, diploma in mechanical engineering, diploma in electronic engineering. And we do have a foundation program for SPM students, right? There under 2 specialization. One is in engineering, another one is in science, 2 pathways, right? So you can choose either science pathway or engineering pathway, right? So all our programs are fully accredited by the relevant accrediting bodies, right? For example, all the degree programs are accredited by EAC, which we call Engineering Accreditation Council, is under the Board of Engineers, Malaysia. Similarly, our diploma programs are accredited under ETEC, right, which is called Engineering Technology Accreditation Council. So these are very, very important, because if you graduate from our university, then automatically you can register yourself as a graduate engineer under the Board of Engineers, Malaysia, right? That is important, right? So other programs are accredited by the relevant MQA bodies, right? So if you are interested in pursuing an engineering degree, you need to understand this Washington Accord, right? So what is this Washington Accord? Is a International Engineering Alliance signatory, right? So under this Washington Accord, if your program is fully accredited by one of the signatory, right? For example, in Malaysia, the signatory is Board of Engineers Malaysia, right? Under that, if our program is accredited under the Board of Engineers Malaysia, automatically it will be recognized internationally in all the countries who signed this accord, right? For example, right, you can see there are 3 accords. One is called Washington Accord, Sydney Accord, and Dublin Accord. So this Washington Accord for engineering degree programs, right? So this is for engineering degree programs, right? And this is called engineering. For Sydney Accord is for engineering technology degree programs, right? So there is the second level program, is engineering technology degree program, and W Accord for this is a technician, like diploma level programs, right? So these are the different types of accords, right, signed by the international body, right? So here you can see in Malaysia signed in way, this is under Washington Accord, this is under Sydney Accord, right, and this is under Dublin Accord, right? So if our program is accredited by Board of Engineers Malaysia, it is recognized throughout the world, right? You can work there, you can further up your studies in any countries, like for example UK, Australia, US, Singapore, anywhere, right? So again, all these programs, right? So during this accreditation process, Board of Engineer will ensure that all the graduates, engineering graduates from engineering programs, whether it's a diploma or engineering technology or engineering degree, professional degree program, all have attained this graduate attributes, right? So the students are expected to have these qualities like engineering knowledge, problem analysis skills, design and development knowledge, investigation skills, ethics, environmental and sustainability, engineer and society, model tools like simulation tools and other things, individual and teamwork abilities, right? Communication skills, project management and finance skills, and the ability to continue the lifelong learning, right? So these are called graduate attributes, or otherwise we call as program outcome or program learning outcomes. We will ensure that all our graduates has all these qualities when they graduate, right? So that is the outcome-based education, right? So it's not only we will systematically evaluate individual students' performance every semester. These are called spider charts, right? Every semester you see this grow from a center, it will go at the end, you will see a full circle. That means you may attain all the PLOs, right? So at the end, we will calculate whether you meet the minimum criteria for that or not. So this is how it is being practiced in Malaysia, right? This outcome-based education, right? So definitely, that's how it is internationally recognized, right? So now allow me to go through the pathway, which some of you are familiar. So if you are from SPM level, right, so you have 2 options, right? So either you can take a foundation program if you want to pursue an engineering degree, or you can take a diploma in engineering program, right? So if you wanted to straight away go into the engineering, you want to experience the engineering touch, right? So immediately right after SPM, so the diploma is the right path, right? So, but both way, you can actually on completion of this diploma, either you can take a computer science, which is a 3 years program, or computer or engineering programs. We have different disciplines, right? So again, on completion of the diploma, you can directly into the second year, right? So if you have a qualification of STPM or A level or matriculation, then you can directly enter to the degree program, right? So actually, you can see here, if through the foundation plus the degree, it will be like a 5 years duration, right? You will get a 5 years duration. But if it is normally the diploma is 2 years and 8 months, right? 2 years, 8 months. Plus this you will be entering directly to the second year. So which is that means you will be doing a 3-year program here, right? 3 years plus the 2 years 8 months, right? So which is roughly 5 years 8 months. But the advantage of having the diploma is you will be getting 2 qualification diploma and degree. Secondly, you will be having a thorough knowledge because you will be studying more engineering subject with hands-on experience. So you will have a very thorough knowledge or technical knowledge. Further, you will be having an industrial training module here as well as here. So you will have an opportunity to go for 2 times industrial training module, right? So that is one thing. Okay. So this is our campus, Lake Campus, right? It's a very beautiful campus. You have to see in practical, right? So you are almost welcome in. You are always welcome. Anytime you can join, right? So this is our library, right? So it's like a beautiful library, very conducive environment for studies, right? So okay, now allow me to go through the prospects of electrical and electronics engineering. I'm going to concentrate on electrical and electronics engineering topics. Right, I will be showing more pictures, and I strongly believe pictures touch more stronger, right? So, and also just sit back, relax, and enjoy the presentation, right? So I will split this presentation into, like, for example, first I will show you what are the areas we will be teaching you, right? If you are joining our program, and then we will see what are the job prospects, right? Then what are the available jobs and what are the areas, right, you can be employed. Then later, what are the latest technology, right? Your future technologies, right? Let us discuss about that, right? So basically, how we prepare our students, right? These are the areas which we call as power generation, right? Which, in a simpler way, we call as GTD, right? It's called generation, transmission, and distribution, right? So this is steam power plant or thermal power plant, right? So where you study about, so where the electrical energy is being generated, right? So the electrical energy is a real time, correct? So we are using electrical energy means somebody is generating and supplying in real time, right? So the only base which is not stored and exported or imported is electrical energy. So it is a real time. You had to generate and supply, right? So this is a hydroelectric power plant, right? So you'll be studying about all this power plant. This is a nuclear power plant, right? So how the nuclear energy is used in the power generation, right? So, and you'll be studying about other power plants like diesel power plant, geothermal, and so on. So this power plant is we call as mobile diesel power plant. So the whole diesel power plant is inside the track. It can be taken to any location, and the power generation can be done. And this is, we are talking about renewable energy. You know, photovoltaic. You have seen solar based. This one. This is a wind energy generation. This is a solar energy extraction, right? So, but this is called as power tower, right? This is another power tower is another way of utilizing the solar energy in the power generation. Like, for example, these are the mirrors, right? So the sun rays falling on the mirrors will be focused to a common point, right? Sun rays falling on the mirrors will be focused to a common point, where this point the temperature is really, really very high, right? So by sending some liquid fluid, right, you can observe this temperature. This temperature is utilized in converting the water into steam in the boilers, and use the steam turbine to generate the electrical energy, right? So you'll be studying about all different types of generation or power plants. Then how the power is being transmitted, right? Whether this is, we call as transmission, right? You study about various things about how the power is transmitted, how to model this transmission, right? For a short, medium, and long transmission, and how to even about these insulators, right? Everything, right? So how these are called suspension insulators, right? So everything you will be studying about this, how it is being transmitted, power quality, and all. And this is one is called as high voltage losses, right? Which is called corona loss, right? So it is not a because nowadays when we say corona is a different thing. This is called high voltage loss, right? So this one, the whole conductor will turn into violet color, right? So we'll be studying about all those things. So in anything, if we see moving like accelerator, lift, or whatever the thing, right? So anything, if it moves, definitely there is a motor, right? So automatically you have to. This is called application, right? The application of electrical energy. So it is applied in various levels, right? In any type of conveyors, the accelerators, lifts, cranes, everything motor is used, right? So these are the applications of electrical energy, and this one is called underground cables, right? We call UG cables, right? Underground cables is, right? You can see like in KL cities, right? Near to the KLCC and all, you won't see any overhead line wires and all like this, right? So everything is underground, right? So there is underground transmission takes place, right? And also you will be studying about underground cables. These are advertisement board. This is called illumination. Illumination means how the light energy is produced, how properly it is designed, right? So again, you have to study about this. Even See, this is called floodlighting, right? So how the lighting is being used, right, in the stadiums, football stadium, and so on, right? So this you'll be studying. These are the application of lighting. Not only these, there are a lot of other industrial application like furnaces and other things, right? So you'll be studying about all those things. Then if you come to the electronic side, right? So definitely, you know, right? Every device nowadays, you name it, TV, refrigerator, washing machine, or whatever, mobile phones, computers, everything has electronic circuits in that, right? So naturally, you will be studying about all the electronics, analog and digital electronics, or including the IC manufacturing and like VLSI and FPGA and different high level of how they are manufacturing in the electronics company. And this is, we are talking about any type of robotics, right? If you think, if you break open and see full of electronic circuits, right? So again, how it is being intelligently controlled, right? So wherever the system you want to make it as intelligent, you need electronics there. So this is what we call, is called PLC, is called programmable logic controllers. This is one of the controller used, very popularly used in industries, right? How to make it automation. This is the backbone for all automations, right? So automatically you will be studying about all those things, right? So these are automations, right? Every automation will have these type of devices which controls that, right? So again, this is any type of automation control, right? We need to know the electrical electronics in detail, right? So again, this is about communication. This is another sector, right? So you can see this is what we call fiber optics, right? This is fiber optics communications, right, where the communication takes place through light, right? Or otherwise, we talk about this microwave or satellite communication or wireless communication. Every device, right, it is using electronics to transmit and receive the data, right, wirelessly or wiredly, right? So you will be studying about all those things, whether analog communication or digital communication and so on. And nowadays, everybody is talking about IoT. So just to allow me to give what is an IoT, right? Let me briefly explain about IoT, right? So let's say if you're thinking about any device at your home, right? So nowadays, if you take an example, a mobile phone is connecting to internet or communicating to one mobile to another mobile, right? So that is similarly, if in the future, every object, right? You can see like even a pipe, right? A train or even washing machine, even a refrigerator. Let's say if this is a refrigerator, so inside the refrigerator you may have, like, say for example, you are having apples, right? Something like 10 apples, right? So if what normally apples is finished means you will again buy and keep it, right? So but you can make it smart fridge in the sense is you can put a sensor inside, it will automatically sense how many apples are there and uses the wireless technology, right, and transmit the data and order by itself, right? So it can do that, right? And you can order to online Tesco or any online shop, right, for extra things. So we can make it more intelligently, right? So the things is going to connect. Like for example, the Facebook, internet, or whatever, Instagram, or whatever you are using, right? Twitters and so on is all connecting the people. That is Internet of People, right? If the thing starts connecting, then we call Internet of Things, right? So the things will be communicating with each other to become more smarter. Similarly, for every such operation, we need to have controllers. This is one of the controllers called Arduino. So small controller can do fantastic things. Using these are called wireless sensors, right? Using the wireless sensors, we transmit the data and receive the data and all, right? And you can see everything is going to be smart, like smart cities, smart hospitals, smart highway, everything is going to be smart, right? This is a unavoidable development, right? So it is naturally happens, right? So we had to go in the flow, right? So again, more advanced system will have embedded system, right? So automatically if you want a complete operation in robotics or anything, right, you must have a very good example I can give you for an embedded system is like in a flight, right? We have autopilot. You might have heard about autopilot. So the flight will go by itself, right? So this is an embedded system. Right? Autopilot is an embedded system, right? So you want to be expert in that, right? You will be learning about all these things, studying about all these things, right? In the latest technology and that, right? So we do have two programs, right? So we will be covering all those areas. Even is our diploma program is called Diploma in Electronics Engineering, specialized in computer, meaning that we want our students to be expert in electronics and also to program the electronics, meaning is program the hardware, right? So that is what we need, like Arduino or programming the Arduino, doing different types of projects and all, right? Our students will be expert in both uh, software and hardware, right? And also on completion of the diploma, students can opt either they can go to electrical engineering degree or engineering degree or computer science programs, right? So all these programs will have industrial training, right? So automatically, I recommend SPM students to take up this diploma program, right? So you will be having industrial, like for diploma, it's a 4 month industrial training. For degree, it's a 3 months industrial training. Yeah? So, and again, we have fantastic lab facilities, as I highlighted earlier, right? We have more than 49 different type of labs, correct? And this is one of the lab, right? I'm saying, right? So this is we call as 3D printing lab, right? So this is one of the IR 4.0 technology, right? So which is we call additive manufacturing technology. We manufacture means we print out all the things in 3D. So we encourage our students through projects. They will be printing all these 3D their projects, right? So this is one called Ultimaker, is one of the IR 4.0 3D printer where you whatever is printing you can remotely from home you can watch what is being printed, right? So that's one thing. Say, for example, we used to give problem-based learning or project-based learning, whatever you call, right? Say, for example, if this is a problem, like in oil and gas industry, right? So you have long pipes. We after like 5 years or 10 years, we want to check what is the condition of the pipe, whether it's a blockage or anything, right? So it's very hard to check the condition of the pipes, right? So our students come out with a project, right? Which this project is designed and developed in our campus, right? Using the 3D printing and all. So this project is called a snake robot, right? So this robot is designed and developed by our students, right? So this is expected to go inside this pipe, and there is a camera in front, and also with the light, it will transmit the real-time images and the videos inside this pipeline, right? So I will show you the video of this, right? Just watch this video, right? So this is a student's project, right? Okay, so I think you have a good experience. So the other some of other projects developed by our students, right? Right. This is like a for physically challenged people, right? So this is like a hand gesture based control, right? So we can move the hand so that it will move automatically, right? So also we have a touch screen based control and so on. This is the line following robot is developed by our diploma students, right? So this is a automatic. Mm, this is a conveyor system like a double layer conveyor, a double level conveyor system, like from ground floor to first floor automatically transfers the objects. And this is a drone. So this drone is used for detecting the landmines, right? So it is used for detecting the landmines, right? So this is one of the final year project, right? So this landmine, the drones can be, it uses magnetic sensors, right? So which to detect the landmines, right? And sends the information at which location with the GPS location, right? So where the landmines are situated, right? So this again other simple robotic projects like a pick and place robot. This is a pick and place robot. This is a voice controlled blind system and so on, right? So some of the projects, right? Okay, so just I would like to highlight, right, certain points, right, how we are handling these things during the pandemic time, right? Of course, everyone is having a tough time during the pandemic time, right? So again, we are conducting all our classes online, but still, whatever the feasible laboratories, right, and the projects we are still conducting through remotely, online and assisting. Let's see, there are advantages of the online classes. I think most of you have experience of online classes and uses. Mainly, we have the recorded lectures, right? So students prefers this, right? Recorded lecture. Anytime they can watch the lectures, right? Repeatedly, without even if they miss any class, they can always watch this one, right? But we are finding it difficult initially, right? We find it difficult to teach a lot of mathematical based derivations and explanation in engineering, right? So it's a little bit a big challenge when suddenly we went into the pandemic situation, online classes, right? But somehow we managed to overcome all these difficulties. So we use digital boards, right? So where I'm using now, right? So if I will be free to write, right? So this type of digital boards to teach. These are actually electrical electronics topics, right? Which is really conducted in the classes, right? So we can do all sort of things, right? And this is some of one of the online simulation, right? Like this is what we call PLC simulation, right? Like a car park system, right? So we can simulate and see. This is online students can do. We are whatever ways we can do online simulation, right? We are doing that, right? So again, we use this is a Swedish based exam .NET system which we use for conducting the exams, where we give a exam key to the students, so students can just log in and see the exam papers, right? They can write the exams anywhere, even in the computer or in the handwritten papers, right? As a normal. Then the handwritten papers they can scan, right? So using their mobile phone, right? They can scan their answer scripts, and once they scan and send, so automatically we will get all the students' answer scripts straight away. Then we will mark accordingly, right? So digitally, right? So which is a very good platform we are using for conducting the test and exams. So these are our feedback from our students, right? Current final year students, they are very happy, right, about that, right? And other academic activities we used to have like external examiners, right? Means our external examiner is a very experienced University Malaya professor, right? He is our external examiner. He will come and check our quality and advise us on this one, right? So we have external examiner. We have IAPs. This is called Industrial Advisory Panels, right? So from various industries, right? For example, TNB, right? From High Tech Padu and different the leading companies, right? We have Industrial Advisory Panel for all the engineering, right? So they will come and advise us, and they will tell us what is their expectation, right, from the graduates. Right? So they will even give input to the curriculum, right? We will change according to their requirement, right? So, and also we have industrial training. It's a compulsory module for all the program. We do have industrial visits, site visits, and so on. We have number of projects like Capstone is a group project, right? Is solving a complex engineering problem, right? We do the complex Capstone design project, or final year project, group project, and so many other projects, mini projects all got. And this poster presentation is the event where the students will demonstrate their project, right? So, and we will invite the IAPs, means the industrial people, to evaluate the good project or best project and all, right? And we do have mentor mentee. Our academic staff will assist the students in whatever the activities they can. So there are various other activities we are going on. So now let me take you through the career prospects. So as I highlighted this, so the electrical electronics engineering now covers 4 different areas, right? One is the electrical engineering part, electronics engineering part, telecommunication side, as well as some of the computer hardware side, right? So you can go anywhere, right? Say, for example, these are the electrical companies, right? You know, Tanaka National, ABB, right? Schneider, GE, and electronics companies, multinational companies like Intel, on anything, telecommunication like Maxis, Cellcom, right? So anywhere, see, in very generally, we can say, irrespective of the product, what they manufacture, every company depends on electrical energy. So every company will employ electrical engineers, electrical and electronic engineers. Any automation has electronics. Right? So definitely electrical electronics engineers are of high demand, and I never hear any of my students without job or anything. So it is again, we will give the fundamentals of all the areas. Then it depends on the students' interest. They can go specialize in one area, whether it is students in electrical engineering or telecommunication engineering or into the automation, or they can specialize either in master's level or in the job level, right? So some of the things just I would like to share, right? This is Indeed is one of the popular job street, job website, right? You can see job portal, right? You can see this is the latest one, right? So it is extracted recently, right? So you can see roughly this is for electronics engineer, right? So normally this is the salary, like, right? Even fresh graduates are getting three and above. And you can see this is from Kelly, is another popular salary guide for this year, right? So it says with few years of experience, you can get so much amount of salary for electrical engineers, right? And even you can see under this pandemic time, right? This is in Job Street. You can see here is almost like one. If you take electrical electronics, and if there are some automation, other jobs, right? Easily you can get around 1,000 jobs are available even as of today, right? So even internationally, if you take this is US Bureau of Labor Statistics for international students, you can see even with the bachelor degrees, the salary is expected is around 103, right? For electrical electronics engineers, right? Is roughly around 8,500 USD, right? So per month, right? So that is the thing. So these are some of our alumni students, right? So here, Nihit is working in AWS, right, in Australia as a cloud engineer, and again another also here. So our these are senior students. I'm just giving some examples, right? So samples only. There are number of students in various high positions, right? This is another student. This is a student who designed the snake robot, right? He's currently working in Sri Lanka, and he developed this one, right? This is a hand sanitizer, automatic hand sanitizer, right? So you just show your hand, it will disperse the amount of the liquid, right? So for hand sanitizing. So now this company is considering this to undergo as a big scale manufacturing, right? This product, right? This product is completely developed and designed and developed by one of our alumni students, right? Again, as I said, our programs are fully accredited, right, by the relevant body, like for example, engineering, EAC, ETech, and the Board of Engineers, Malaysia, and all, right? Automatically, you can further up your degree. Degree students can further up your studies anywhere, right? Either in MIU or you want to go to public universities or anywhere, right? So your degree will be recognized, right? And you can pursue your higher studies, right? Internationally also, right? You want to go to Singapore or Australia or anything. One of the student who is working in Amazon, he did his masters in data analytics in the University of New South Wales, right, and so on. Right? And again, diploma students can further up the degree in locally in MIU or anywhere, right? Either locally or overseas, right? So because of the accreditation status. So now allow me to go into the future technologies, right? So how we are going towards, right? So this is one of the important things, the electric vehicles, right? So you can see here these electric vehicles. This is a car parking lot. This is in China, right? Actually, China is advancing very fast in electric vehicles, right? In the very near future, most of the cars is going to be electric fully, right? So you see, this is a parking lot is converted into a charging station, right? So imagine every shopping lot, right? If it is converted into a charging station, right? These are only can managed by electrical engineers or electrical technicians, right? So you see how much amount of job scope or business opportunities, right? So is available for electrical engineering, right? It is expected electrical number of electric cars in the road is going to be tremendously increase in millions, right? So this is mainly for reducing the. I will talk about the global warming in the next coming slides, right? But this is the main reason, right, to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and other things. So we are going for renewal, right? So definitely it is unavoidable, right? So whatever the thing, right, currently all the cars are petrol and diesel engines based, right? It's called internal combustion engine based, right? It will be very soon replaced by the electric cars, right? So there are a lot of new technology coming called fast charging, right? So automatically fast charging techniques and all is every house is going to be equipped with this thing, right? This charging port, right? So every house will be moving towards electric car, right? So this is a feature. So we incorporate these things also in our curriculum, right? So then I think you all aware of global warming, but anyway, just quickly I go through it. You compare this side and this side. So this is a normal time, right? So you say, for example, these are some greenhouse gas emissions, right? So it is like CO2, methane, or whatever the greenhouse gas emission, right? There is a minimum level, right? So the sun rays, right? This is called radiation, right? When it comes here, right? It falls, it heats up this one, and it reflects back, right? So when it reflects back to the space, right? Some of the greenhouse gases which will what it does is it reflects back into that. This is called re-radiation, right? It comes back into this one, keeping this atmosphere warm, right? So normally the atmosphere is warm, but what actually happens lately, right? Because of the large amount of greenhouse gas emissions, we see this red color become too much, right? So there is a lot of radiation, right? Reflections, right? So a lot of reflections means automatically this area gets heated up, right? So automatically, this is the reason we call as global warming. So this is automatically the temperature of this area increases. Right? So naturally, so these mainly the contribution for this greenhouse gas emission mostly is energy related things, right? So energy in the industry, energy in the transport, energy in the buildings, right, in air conditioning and other things, right, everything contributes to that. Almost huge amount of contribution for this greenhouse gas emission is from the energy related, right, products and services, right? So the energy become an important thing, right? So if you see, for example, global warming, you can see here, this is the different temperature, right? You can see initially this is from 100 years back, right? If you take this as a reference line, right? Previously it is below this reference line, right? So it's a relatively, you can see the increase in the temperature almost more than 1.5 degree average, right? It increases, right? So because of that, that the whole globe gets warmed up, right? Or it is getting heated up. So even 1 degree may cause a very serious damages to the environment, right? So you see Malaysia, it's somewhere here. So it will be like much warmer than our age, right? So that is the thing. So what are the effects of this climate change, right? So you can see rising temperature, rising sea levels, unpredictable weather patterns, right? Increase in extreme weather conditions, land degradation, loss of wildlife and biodiversity, and so on. So you can see sea levels rising, and you can see so many other extreme weather patterns, right? Like storms and other things are available. These are the effects of global warming. So we have to control the energy related project. That's why we are going for energy efficiency. So energy efficiency plays an important role. Like for example, normal fluorescent tube is replaced by LED bulbs, right? correct, or downlight, right, which is called compact CFL. CFL means called compact fluorescent tube, right? And we try to have multiple glazing, right? So that so for air conditioning and everything, we use advanced. Like say, this is called motion sensors, right? What do you mean by it's called occupational sensors, right? Only in your room, if there is a people around there, right, or a human being there, then it will switch on the light or aircon, right? So we use occupation sensors, right, motion detection sensors, right? So make it more smarter. These are smart homes. The objective is to reduce the energy consumption, right? So if you reduce the energy consumption, even you can see in Malaysia, this is called Surganjaya Tanaga, right? So which is the energy commission, right? So even every product, if you buy a air condition or if you buy a fridge or anything, you will see this rating, right? So you always go for a 5-star rating means the energy consumption. This is given how many units it consumes per year, right? So it is stated there, right? So you can see if you go for 5-star, then all this is good, right? It consumes less energy, right? So you can go if you buy any electrical product like fan, refrigerator, oven, or anything, you go look for this symbol, right? If you go for 5-star, is best, right? So that is the thing, right? You can see this is even in this is about US, right? You can see here energy efficient, energy rated homes for America, right? So they introduced one thing called residential energy services method. Every house in US, right, it has a rating. It's called HERS rating, right? It's called home energy rating system, right? Every home, imagine it is rated, right? If your home is rated like 40 means it's okay. If it is rated as 20 means then it's very good because it's green means it is your house is green. That is consuming less energy, right? Here is less energy. But if it is rated at 140 means it is really it's consuming huge amount of energy. The house is designed for huge energy consumption. Definitely, if you want to rent a house or anything, if your house is in this area, nobody going to buy or rent it, right? So that is the thing, right? Similarly, in UK also, they are giving importance to this energy, right? So they have a rating, right? So they give rating in terms of color. If it is a green, is the best, right? Red is the worst, right? So they have a minimum standard. If you don't, you have to meet like a minimum of at least if they can put a no. You must have a minimum of 2E, right? This are not allowed, right? If yours is in this your building, right? So for any high-rise building or any offices, right? If building energy consumption falls under this category, automatically they have a penalty, right, of 5,000 to this one, right? So this one, okay. Similarly, in Malaysia also they have Suganjaya Tanaga, which have a regulation. This is energy efficiency and energy efficient management of electrical energy regulation. This is a regulation by the Suganjaya Tanaga, which clearly says if the energy consumption, this is mainly for industries, right? If it is more than 500,000 per month, right? This is then you must have a REAM. REAM means called registered electrical energy manager, right? So this energy management, same like a quality manager, every company must have an energy manager. So automatically, why I'm saying this is, right? So energy becomes a very important role. So we have a subject called energy management, right? We teach all the requirements of all these things of this Suganjaya Tanaga. Then the students can easily register for this one, right? So once they become registered, they will be in a high demand for in the industries because it's a compulsory requirement, mandatory requirement by the this board, right? So Suganjaya Tanaga for all the industries, right? It's very soon all they are going to put a condition that right every company must have this REAM, right? So that means it's called registered electrical energy manager. So the demand is high, so the salary also high if you have this qualification. So we prepare the students for this regulation requirement, and the students can go for the test and get this qualification, right? So that is for additional value adding. Just quickly, let me go through the industrial revolution technologies, right? Again, this is everybody is talking about the fourth industrial revolution of 4.0, right? So it's all is interconnected, right? You can see here all the machines are interconnected. These are the pillars of 9 pillars of we call as pillars of IR 4.0, right? These autonomous robots, simulation, and all, right? So you can see like for example, if it is a cloud means right now we have Google, Google Drive or whatever the thing, right? So all these type of online uploading and everything and all, it goes to the cloud, right? It can have any platform or services or anything, right? Cyber security plays another role. These are more computer related, right? So which the data transfers, right, in wireless, right? So you can, if you have a good system, hacking system, you can hack the passwords and other things. But the security plays a very higher role, right? So that means it's more advanced, right? So they use 180, 128-bit encryption algorithm. It's not that easy to retrieve the password and all, right? So there's so many other things is that. So this is I will show you some of the thing related to electrical electronics, like for example, this one you see autonomous robot, right? So you can see this is for delivery of online things, right? You order something online, it comes and delivered to your home, right? This is from Prime, Amazon, right? So these are, I think this is from Alibaba, I think. This is from Alibaba, I think, in China. And this is a health screening, right? Takes a robot is taking health screening. These are called autonomous robots. Again, you open and see is full of electronics and controllers, right? So definitely, again, you can autonomous robots is used to do repeated things, right? In the industries, right? These are autonomous robots. And again, simulation, right? We have to. This is the sim through latest sim. It means advanced simulation, right? We can understand, right? It's a really what is a crash test can be. How it affects, right? Any car design, any model design, any product you are designing, you can do any type of testing, right? So in different types of, this is using the advanced simulation softwares, right? And again, augmented reality is, you can see this is a car engine. You can do, this will guide, right? The system will guide you to do the repair, right? This is augmented reality. Or if you're walking in a street, right, that Google Maps, right, it gives you the actual direction and gives you guidance how to reach your destination, right? This type of things is called augmented reality, right? Virtual reality is totally you are going into a different world, right? Like say this is the Great Wall of China, right? You want to walk in the Great Wall of China, which is possible in virtual reality, right? Or this is a new home which you not designed, not constructed yet, but still you want to go inside and feel the rooms and all. You can do that in virtual reality. So it has a lot of applications, right? So these are the industrial IoT. Again, industrial IoT, you can see here, right, is all the devices are connected wirelessly, right? So everywhere, right? So this is at the design level. This is the product development prototyping level. This is the production level. This is the logistic level, right? Means packing and this dispatching. This is the distribution or the consumer level, right? So all are interconnected, and to increase the efficiency, that is called industrial IoT. And again, 3D printing, right, which we are aware, which is the additive manufacturing, where different types of products can be printed. So this is a house in China. It's fully printed in 3D, right? So it's a 3D printed house, right? So like this, you can. There are a lot of houses are being printed in 3D, right? So this is another technology. So again, this is in electrical engineering, like say, so it's going to be the future technology is called light transmission, right? Which is called Li-Fi. The same like Wi-Fi. We are aware of Wi-Fi. Now this is Li-Fi, right? So it's a light transmission, light fidelity. So what is that is, even you see here, what is the advantage of this is extreme high speed. So all our LED lights, right? So in your home, you have plenty of downlights. LED lights is going to send you the data. So your mobile phone will have a light sensors which will receive and transmit the data. So it is of extremely high speed, right? You can download HD movies in seconds, right? So that type of extreme high speed, and also it has advantage, right? You want to wherever in a normal Wi-Fi you cannot use in a petrol station, but light-based you can use in the petrol station or undersea and so on, right? There are so many areas. You can employ, right? So this is going to be the future for high speed data transmission, right? So this is what we call PL here in this case. We call power line communication, right? This is called, we use electrical line to send the data, right? It's called power line communication. So this is going to be the future, right? For high speed data transfer, right? Then also this is like say we are talking about electric vehicles, not only car, it will be trucks and other things. So if it become fully electric, right, then even in highways, one of the track, this is in Sweden, right? Actually, it is in Sweden. one of the lane in the highway is converted into electric, so you will be charging wherever possible, right? And it will be fully electrical, no petrol or diesel is used. So this is going to be the future technology, right? So the future developments, technology, everything depends on electrical electronic engineering, right? So I believe now you get a clear idea about how the future is going to be, right? So there is a very, very wide scope for electrical electronics engineering graduates, right? So before I finish, kindly allow me to give a feedback with feedback by my student, right? So just listen to this video. It's a short video only, right? So
At first, I was a little nervous because I thought I was going to go through a mountain of books and strict lectures all the time. But I was wrong. Manipal has a very different environment compared to other universities. It has a really friendly environment filled with multiracial students from all over the world. And when it comes to lecturers, they are more than just teachers. They are like your friends. You can be open and share anything at all with them to find the best solution for your problems. And the classes here are held in small groups of individuals, allowing the lecturers to focus on each student's weaknesses. I'm happy I chose Manipal because it made me a better person both mentally and physically. Plus, it also made me discover my talents.
okay, this student is currently studying in degree, right? So and thank you very much for the opportunity, right? Hope it's interesting, right? And any questions? I'm ready to answer, right?
All right, doctor. Now that we're in the end of our session, let's just go over the Q&A part. If you look in your comment right-hand section. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, let me I go back. Sorry.
No worries.
Can I stop sharing?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you can, doctor. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Okay. So if you look on the comment right-hand side, you might have to scroll a little bit, doctor, and go all the way down to MIU's section.
Oh. So is it no? This is MIU section. So
Yeah, you
okay.
might have to scroll a little bit. Yeah.
Saratan, right? Is there any transfer skills in this program?
Yes.
Just in case I want to change transfer after I graduate. Yes, right, definitely, right. So, as I highlighted at the end, I think you could have understood that, right? So definitely you will be good in artificial intelligence, right, and also in programming, right, and also in the programming the hardware, right. So there are a lot of other related skills, right, that can be transferable, right. Okay. So, question from Patrick. Hello, sir. Can I use the engineering degree I got in Malaysia to work overseas, or is there any different professional body? Patrick, whatever the degree you got in Malaysia is recognized overseas under that, as I highlighted, right, the Washington Accord, Sydney Accord, and Dublin Accord, right? It is our Board of Engineers Malaysia is one of the signatory, right? So it is recognized overseas. You no need to worry. You no need to go and register there. Automatically recognized everywhere. Right? So you no need to do that, right? You can either work there or you can further up studies there, right? So that is confirmed.
All right.
Okay. Then question from Anand. Hi sir, what are some interesting engineering program to pursue? Engineering is very, very vast subject, right? Again, Anand, right? So again, it depends on interests, right? So if you are interested in electrical electronics, right? These are the areas, right? These are the areas, any one of the areas, right? If you are interested into the automation or robotics or anything, right? Definitely electrical electronics is the right choice. But you can also go into mechanical engineering or civil engineering or chemical engineering. Definitely, all these are professional areas, right? The only my advice is, if you have interest is the important thing. As long as you are interested in that particular engineering, definitely you will have a very bright future. You will have technically strong knowledge in that, right? So the interest is very important, right? So whatever the area you are interested in, go ahead, right? So definitely the future is very great, right? So Lucy, is robotics different than electrical engineering? It is possible to go into that field with a EE degree. See, all are interrelated, Lucy, right? So this is called convergence, right? So electrical, electronics, as I said, anything, even if we talk about robotics, a robotic arm, right? So the robotic arm, you wanted to move, right? So if any movement definitely got a motor. Motor means it has a electrical engineering there. But the motor has to be controlled very precisely, right? So how many centimeters it has to move, how many angles it has to move, right? That all is electronics based control, right? That's why we call controllers, right? So we program the controllers to control the motor to move the arm, robotic arm, right? So it's all interrelated field, right? So definitely by doing an ENE degree, you can definitely specialized in robotics area. So definitely that is the fundamental. It provides the fundamental knowledge, right?
All right.
So that's it, right? So okay.
Yeah. Yes, but I do have a question on my end, Doctor, if that's all right with you.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Nina.
All right. So I think based on your presentation, I do see that there are a lot of techy things that electrical engineering offers. Apart from the robotic things to electrical cars and things like that. I guess I'm just curious, what is the future like for the EE industry? Years from now in Malaysia, in our country, like what can we expect? And what can we see? I guess in 5 years from now in the results of the EE industry.
Yeah, see, actually, this even in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, Nina. So every industry, irrespective of the products they manufacture, right? So they need the electrical engineers, electronics engineers, because every industry, like under IR 4.0, going for more automation, robotics based, right? So, or even the normal manufacturing process or anything, now they want everything, they want to automate it, right? So the automation is going to be everywhere, right? So that means electrical electronics future is going to be very good actually, right? Because every industry is going towards automation, right? So that the future is really, really very good. And there are a lot of interesting areas as I highlighted, one is electric vehicles, right? Another thing is even electric highway, right? And so those areas, even Wi-Fi, right? That is a high-speed light-based communication, right? So the future technology depends on electrical electronics and computer engineering, right? So naturally, right? So the future is very bright for the graduates.
Right. All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Just to wrap things up, because now that we're nearing the end of our session,
Okay.
do you have any parting words of advice for students who are interested in pursuing their studies in the field of engineering or electrical engineering to be precise? SPM leavers. Any advice, Doctor?
Okay. Thank you, Nina. Right. So for SPM students particularly, right? So you have two pathways. One is the foundation pathway. Another one is the diploma pathway. So if you foundation is 1 year program. So you complete the foundation and 4 years of engineering degree. You can choose any engineering degree, right? So total of 5 years you can complete. You can become an engineer, right? Or if you want to because the foundation is more like A levels or equivalent to STPM, you will be studying more advanced mathematics, science, and some students want to start engineering right away, right? So they say they want to do more hands-on, right? So if you are interested to start the engineering right away, join the diploma program. Diploma program is the right thing. It provides more hands-on. It provides more subject knowledge. Your fundamental in engineering will be more stronger, right? So and you can you will be studying like extra for 8 months, but doesn't matter, right? You will be very knowledgeable in the technical things, right? So that is the thing, right? So my advice is you have to create the interest, and as I highlighted earlier, right? So the interest is very important. Second thing, your fundamental level, if you study hard and if your fundamental is strong, in higher level like third year and fourth year, it will be very easy for you to excel in the advanced level subjects, right? So thank you very much, Nina. Right, so.
All right, thank you, Doctor. All right, so to those of you who are watching, I hope that you take in whatever that Doctor has mentioned with ease. Resonate with you that there are options for you if you are interested And thank you so much, Doctor, for your insights and perspective. I hope that our audience has gained some valuable information from this session. And Doctor, if you have us again, we'd like to have you on board with us for our next webinar to talk more about electrical engineering, in other aspects of it, Doctor.
Yes, Nina, come again.
I was just saying that I was just thanking you for
Yeah,
coming
sure.
on board with
Thanks a
us.
lot.
Yeah, and we'd love to
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
have you
Yeah.
again. Yes, all right. So have a
Yeah,
good day,
sure.
and thank you
I
so much for
appreciate
being
it.
with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Thank you to our audience for joining our session with Dr. Vengadesh of Manipal International University. Up next, we'll have Ms. Barbara from Manipal University College, Malaysia, be sharing with us on how to study dentistry at MUCM. Now, don't forget to check out Manipal International University while you're at the fair. In the meantime, let's take a look at what MIU has prepared for you. All right, for those of you who just tuned in, good evening and welcome to EduAdvisor's webinar series, part of the EduAdvisor Virtual Education Fair, where academicians and industry professionals will weigh in on a number of topics ranging from choosing an education pathway to jobs and careers. My name is Nina, and today we have Ms. Barbara, Head of Marketing and Student Enrollment from Manipal University College, Malaysia, who's sharing with us on studying BDS at MUCM. Now, I'll just bring in our speaker into the stream. Hi, Ms. Barbara. Ms. Barbara, you're on mute. You might want to unmute yourself. Yes.
Duh. Overexcited.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Barbara, for your second day with us this week for our this June webinar session. Thank you so much for being with us.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
Yes. All right. So just a quick background about our esteemed speaker today. Ms. Barbara has been in the medical education placement for over 10 years, having worked with Irish medical and dental schools. She's an accountant by profession. Ms. Barbara has also worked with students from age 3 up to pre-university in international school setting. Currently, she is the head of marketing and student enrollment for Manipal University College, Malaysia. Ms. Barbara believes that there is an ideal vocation for each young person and that with the right guidance and nurturing, future generations can set the world ablaze when they fulfill their career ambitions. All right, I see Ms. Barbara is ready with her slides. Now, before we begin, to our live audience watching, if any questions from Ms. Barbara, do leave a comment and we'll get them answered at the end of the session. So don't forget to check out MUCM's virtual booth while you're at the fair. All right, Ms. Barbara, I'm pulling your slides into the screen. Whenever you're ready, you may start presenting.
Is it working today?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is working.
So you can see I'm severely traumatized by that. Okay, so a very good evening to future dentists tuning in today, whether you're tuning in by yourself or with your parents. A very good evening and welcome to our webinar by Manipal University College, Malaysia on our BDS program. Today I'll be covering with you the road to becoming a dentist, and then I'll share a bit about us, who we are, and what our program is like. We'll talk a little bit about the admissions process, the investment costs, scholarships, and such. Then I'll tell you a bit about Malacca, because Malacca is more than just famous for its chendol and such. Okay, so I hope you stay with me till the end, and if you've got any questions, feel free to use the question box, as Nina said, and we'll take them at the end of it. So you want to become a dentist. I have been in education for a very long time, and kids who tell me they want to become a dentist have always fascinated me. I always find that you need to have a certain, how shall I put it, interest in teeth in order to become a successful dentist. And why is that so? I'd like to share with you this chart, which is what we call the career continuum. And this is the pathway for a dentist. Okay, the starting point is a undergraduate degree in dentistry, where you could do a bachelor's of dental surgery. If you're tuning in after receiving your Form 5 results, you will need a pre-university program before you come into the undergraduate stage. The dentistry degree is 5 years compared to, business, accounting, that sort of thing, which is 3 to 4 years max. Yours is a 5 years. And after you graduate, while you can call yourself a dentist, which carries the title DR, doctor, you're not fully licensed to practice. Okay, you have to register with the Malaysian Dental Council, the law enforcers, so to speak, and then you have to serve the government in a clinic pergigian for a duration of 1 year. Right? What do you do after that? For those wishing to specialize and become a specialist dental surgeon, the hope is you get a government contract so that you can continue to stay in the Malaysian health services, whether it's at the hospital in the dentistry department or at a clinic pergigian, where you work as a dental officer, and then eventually get called into one of the teaching hospitals where they offer dentistry and go on to do your specialization. All in all, you're talking about 12 to 13 years, right? And, more than that, once you finish your degree and you start to practice, you basically would be just working with this part of your feature, which is the mouth area. Okay. And, day in, day out, that's all you're going to be doing. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're thinking of becoming a dentist, you should have a fascination for the oral cavity, people's teeth, their lips, their gums, the jawline, all right? And how do you know that you have that fascination? One easy thing I always say is, when you meet someone for the first time, your eyes are automatically drawn to their teeth. If someone has got crooked teeth, like me, for example, when you're talking to me, that would be the thing that you're looking at. You'll be looking at my mouth and my teeth and going, I need to fix that. It's not straight. Okay, that's one way of identifying that you do have a potential to be a good dentist. You should have an eye for detail, attention to detail. You should be good with your hands, because a dentist works primarily with his or her hands, and that kind of dexterity is good. Those who have played music or drawing, you like to fix things, a lot of Lego, Rubik's Cube, that sort of thing. You have very, very good potential to become good dentists. But the long and short of it is, it's one of those careers that takes a long time to develop, and the passion plays an important role in order for you to succeed. At this point, I also like to say that after you're a house officer, you can actually exit and work for a dental clinic. It would be too early for you to open your own dental clinic, right? But you could work for a franchise chain, okay, and do procedures that way. Eventually, do you have to become a specialist? You don't have to become a specialist, because dentistry is also one of those fields where you could do professional skills training, all right? Attend classes, attend courses. For example, at Manipal, we offer an implantology program. Once you finish that program, you receive the certificate, you'll be able to do implants for your patient and offer that as a service. So dentistry, in comparison to medicine, has a lot more flexibility in terms of your career pathway. Okay. Now, as Nina mentioned, I'm Barbara from Manipal University College, Malaysia. You may have known us before under our own name, which is Malacca Manipal Medical College. But since February 2021, this year, we've been upgraded to University College, and thus our new name, Manipal University College, Malaysia. We are part of the Manipal Global Education Group, and we've been in Malaysia since 1997. We admitted our first batch of MBBS students in 1997, and our first batch of dentistry students 13 years ago. Okay, we've been focusing on healthcare since our establishment, nurtured over 10,000 doctors, and coming close to 1,000 dentists in Malaysia itself, right? We offer 3 programs: a foundation in science for those of you who have just finished your SPM and looking for a stepping stone to go into medicine, which is a Bachelor's of Medicine and Bachelor's of Surgery, MBBS, or dentistry, where we offer a Bachelor's of Dental Surgery, BDS. Our Bachelor's of Dental Surgery is 5 years, and it covers the surgical component. That's why it's called Bachelor's of Dental Surgery. We have one intake a year and a quota of 75 students per intake. Now, a lot of the times parents always ask me, which is easier to get in, medicine or dentistry? Which is easier to study, medicine or dentistry? You know, there's always this competition between these two professions. And I always tell them it's two very different fields. In medicine, you are learning everything from the top of your head to the bottom of the feet. Okay? But for dentistry, you have to learn everything from the top of your head to the neck. Yeah. When you have a smaller portion to cover over 5 years, what it means is the depth of your knowledge is far more significant as compared to over 5 years needing to learn everything from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet. You will learn everything, but the depth and breadth of it is a bit less. Okay, dentistry is also a program that's highly competitive to get in because each university has got limited seats. For example, we only have 75. All right. To run a dentistry program, it's also very investment heavy on the university because we need to provide you the facilities. And what facilities am I talking about? The dental chair. Because in order for you to work on your patient needs to be in the dental chair. Okay, so for us, we have about 180 dental chairs, which is sufficient and bringing about almost a 1-to-1 ratio for our clinical year students, which is from years 3, 4, and 5. You don't have to share chairs, and you'll be able to work in comfort. The other reason why the dentistry program is competitive is because we must provide the facility, not just in terms of the dental chair, but also patients. You can't be working on a dummy phantom head, right? You have to be working on real life patients. So, for universities to have that kind of flow of patients so that their students can work on a patient one-to-one and not have to share, it's a bit difficult. So dentistry as a subject, I would say is more or less the same as medicine, but in terms of admissions, it's of course way more competitive. But at the end of the day, as I said beginning, you must have the passion, because if you have the passion, then working, as you can see in the picture here, the posture of the dentist is very unique. It's not one that you could sort of kick back, that sort of thing. There's a certain body posture that you'll be in when you're working on your patient. And if you don't like what you're doing, I can tell you, 15 minutes in that position, you feel all your muscles aching and you'll be saying, enough, I'm not seeing any more patients after this one. All right. Now, we at Manipal, as I mentioned, we have about 180 dental chairs spread out through our 3 polyclinics. And what's the purpose of the polyclinic? Well, we run an on-site clinic that sees over 30,000 patients a year. Dentistry is a highly lucrative industry. Okay, most of us would have seen a dentist at least once in our lifetime. And as you get older, you want to get braces or you've got cavities and you need things doing with your teeth, you'll find that going to the dentist is not just scary because of the procedures, the sound of the equipment, but also because it could potentially end up costing thousands of ringgit. Okay, which is where our clinic come in. It serves the Malacca community almost similar to the prices of a clinic pergigian, i.e. a government clinic. And that's why Malaccans like to come to our clinic and get their teeth checked, any work that they need done on their teeth done at our clinic. As a result of that, all our students have got multiple opportunities to work on a variety of cases throughout their dentistry degree time with us. We are able to focus the training of the graduate, not just to be an oral physician, and not just a dental surgeon, because we are also closely linked with the hospitals, which is Malacca GH. And as a dental student, you do have to spend time in Malacca GH where you learn how dentistry intersects with medicine. And that's why we say you become an oral physician and not merely a dental surgeon. The BDS structure is as follows. It's a 5-year program. the dentistry program does not go by semester. It goes on an annual basis. So it's year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Year 1 and year 2, you'll be very much in the classrooms where you learn the theory that serves as the foundation for you. And this includes cadaver dissection for anatomy. You also learn physiology, biochemistry, oral biology, so on and so forth. Right? In year 3, 4, and 5, that's when you start to see patients. These pictures are actually our student in the clinic. Okay. Year 3 is observational. So every patient that comes to our clinic, they have to go to what we call the outpatient department, where, you know, they have to check your entire teeth. So you could come with a wisdom tooth problem. It doesn't matter. We still want to check you over and make sure that there are no other issues that are more pressing than your wisdom teeth. So as a third year dental student, that's what you'll be doing. You'll be working in pairs to check the teeth of all the new patients that are coming. And then you make your way up to the different polyclinic, right? Where in years 4 and 5, you actually work on patients and do actual procedures. That patient in the picture there with the dentist in the green scrubs, that's actually me. I had a huge hole in one of my molars, and then it broke. So I had half a molar. I thought I needed to have that tooth extract, but after check by our dentist, they said, no, I just needed a root canal and a crown. So that dentist is Dr. Michelle. She's graduated 2 years now. That procedure is actually a root canal. She did my root canal for me. And I'll let you in on a secret. The root canal only cost me 40 ringgit as opposed to 800 ringgit if I went to a private dentist outside. Now you know why a lot of people come to our clinic. That's the price difference, okay? And then the next one, that's actually Dr. Yong. Dr. Yong then did a mold of my tooth and did a crown to put over the broken tooth. Okay, so this is when we say that you actually do actual procedures, this is what we mean. It's not just doing the actual procedures. Okay, when you go into dentistry, think of it as learning to play the piano, or when if you're a girl and you're tuning in, when you've picked up something like cross stitch, crochet, or when you're learning a sport. Now, when you look at all those, what do they always tell you? Practice makes perfect, isn't it? The more times you practice, the more times you bake, the better the outcome is. And that's the same with dentistry. Okay, remember, after you graduate, there's just 1 year of housemanship. Then you're out in the world on your own. All right. So what we do is we make sure that you have ample opportunities to develop mastery. And we do that by increasing the number of procedures that you need to do before you graduate from our dentistry degree. So the Malaysian Dental Council says that every dental graduate needs to do X number of procedures while they are studying for their bachelor's. And because we have this patient and we have these facilities and things like that, we are able to tell you that you have to do more than what the Dental Council says. And that gives you that advantage. Because as I said, practice makes perfect. And this is why a lot of our students, when they graduate and they go on to housemanship, if they're working at a clinic pergigian, the hours are quite fixed, right? We've all seen a clinic pergigian, pukul 8 sampai pukul 5, and then weekends is off. So what some of them do is they've got such confidence in themselves, they take on locum work at private dental clinics and make money on the side. Okay, and for someone who had just graduated to be able to do that, I think it speaks a lot about the level of confidence you have in yourself about your skills and ability when it comes to doing dentistry work. Right? So this is something that's unique to us because we have that clinic, we have that flow of patients, we have the confidence and trust of the Malaccan people, which is why our dentistry program is one of the better ones in the country. Now, I'm just going to show you some of our facilities. Remember, I mentioned you have preclinical. Yes, you'll be thinking, Miss Barbara, I'm doing dentistry. Like you said, only the top of the head to the neck. Why do I have to play with the whole dead body? You don't play with the whole dead body, but the head up to the neck needs to come with a body, right? So that's where your cadaver dissection comes in, okay? You won't be cutting into the arms and things like that. You'll just be focusing on the skull and the neck portion, all right? And it's important because dentistry, our teeth is not just our teeth. It's so interconnected to the cheek muscles, the jaw joints, and things like that. So you have to learn that entirely and be very, very good at it in order to become a skilled dentist in the future. Okay. We've got labs, computer labs, multidisciplinary labs, right? And we are set in a resort-style campus, over 22 acres, a lot of greenery. There's just one tall building, which unfortunately is your dental building, which is where you're going to be in. But the rest of the buildings are actually 2 to 3 stories. Okay, so I always find that our dentistry students are always laughing because when they are walking to their classes, they are passing all these green fields and trees and things like that. Naturally uplifts the spirit. This is the clinical lab. So you'll be in here in your first 2 years. That's what we call the phantom heads. Each of you will have your own phantom head dummy because in year 1 and year 2, you actually need to construct your own set of teeth. Yes, that's right. You have to construct your own set of teeth so that you learn each tooth by heart and make it your best friend, because for the rest of your life, you'll be working on all the teeth in all shapes, form, manner, and state. Okay, so we have all the various facilities. You'll also be learning how to make dentures and things like that. So if indeed, you have that fascination for teeth, then dentistry would be the right field for you to go into. Now, if you're thinking of making an application, the next few slides will take you through that process. Okay, let's start with the application requirement. What are the admissions requirements? In order for you to go into the degree, you need to present to us an internationally recognized pre-university, such as the A-levels, STPM, Matricula C, Science Assasi, Foundation in Science, MAFI, Australian matriculation, Canadian matriculation, IB diploma. Okay, we'll be looking at you presenting a minimum of the grades BBB, or ABC, or A*AC, or AAC, in that combination. But you get my general idea. The baseline equal is BBB. If you get a C, you got to compensate with an A. That's the way it works. For dentistry, we'll be looking at the best of your 3 out of bio, chem, physics, and math. Okay, I repeat, we'll be looking at your best 3 subjects out of bio, chem, physics, and maths. And this is where it differs from medicine, because for medicine, biology and chemistry are compulsory subjects. Then between your physics and math, we'll take the better score. But for dentistry, we'll take the best score out of these 4 subjects. If you are just finished your SPM and you're thinking of joining us, you can come into our foundation in science. But if you're presenting a foundation in science as your entry qualification to dentistry, you need to make sure that you have B grades in biology, chemistry, physics, math, and a 5th subject, which can be AdMaths, Sejarah, or Moral. You also need to make sure that your language, BM and English, have the minimum grades of C. Our application process is quite straightforward. The application form is all done online, and there is an admissions interview for entry to the BDS degree. So I repeat, there's an admissions interview for entry into the BDS degree. If you're tuning in and applying for foundation, there is no admissions interview. Okay, what's the purpose of this admissions interview? Remember, I said the dentistry degree is a 5-year duration, and that you must have the passion, you must know what you're getting yourself into. That's the purpose of this admissions interview. It's for our faculty to get to know you, and then to determine that you have thought about these things and that you know exactly what you're getting into. The reason for this is, if you look at the degree, there is no exit point except when you graduate. So we don't want it to be a case of after 2 years or after your 3rd year, you start working on patients and you said, you know what, this is not my cup of tea. I want to be a doctor. You can't switch to year 4 of medicine or year 3 of medicine. You have to start all over again. So it is at this admissions interview that we will be asking you questions like, Why do you want to be a dentist? What made you chose this? What inspires you? And things like that. And for you to convince us that you have really thought this through. So, like I said, if you're tuning in today, lots of reflection, but you have to ask yourself why you want to do this. And don't be shy. If the answer is, I love teeth. I love to make teeth beautiful and make people pretty and be confident enough to smile. That's a perfectly fine answer. And in fact, that is the perfect answer. Okay? Now let's talk about scholarships. We offer scholarships at dentistry degree level, but this scholarship is by competition. You need to present grades of AAA as your entry requirement, or CGPA 3.6. You must meet the SPM prerequisites before you will be invited to take part in this scholarship. The reason why it is by competition is because this scholarship is a recognition of your achievements, academic and non-academic, prior to starting your degree. And we expect our scholarship holders to be the best of the best for their intake. We don't expect them to win a scholarship and then just to attend classes from 9 to 5, not take part in any activities and have no life, because that's not going to be very healthy. We expect them to, take the lead, participate in continuous learning, stand for student council, organize activities and things like that, while still doing well in their BDS degree. Okay, so the competition is based on an application essay. I'll give you examples of past essay topics. For dentistry would be the mouth is. Just that, the mouth is. 300 words in your own words to describe to us what the mouth is to you. The highest scores from this application essay will then go on to the interview. And in the interview, we are looking at how you present yourself, how you demonstrate that you have been an all-rounder throughout your school and pre-U days, to communicate to us that you are eloquent communicators and that you're lateral thinkers. Okay? Only from those who make it to the scholarship interview that we will determine who wins the scholarship. And there are two types of scholarships available for dentistry. It's either a 50% discount, which I can assure you only one gets it every year because the standard is really, really high, or a 50,000 tuition fee discount. The scholarship is only open to Malaysians, and you will be invited after you have completed your application process into the degree. Okay? What are our costs like? Our tuition fee is 320,000. Other fees, which for the majority of it is actually your books, because dentistry books are not cheap, will come to about 10,000. But of that 10,000, 2,005 is actually a refundable deposit, which will be given back to you when you graduate your dentistry degree. This refundable deposit is just to make sure that, when you're having a bad day, you don't come into the lab and smash up a dental chair and things like that. Okay? So the total full cost that we're looking at is about 330,000. We've got PTPTN loan. It's not very much for dentistry. It's 42,500 to 85,000. And chances are you'll only be eligible for the 85,000 if you are from a B40 income family. We provide accommodation. All our hostel rooms are single room with attached bathrooms. The rent is 450 a month. Girls' hostel is within campus gates. Boys' hostel is a 3-minute walk outside of campus gates. This rent is payable by year, okay? And it does not include electricity. So every room has its own electricity meter, and you'll be given your electricity bill at the end of every month. So how much you end up paying for electricity really depends on how you use. Malacca food is quite cheap. You could get by with 700 to 800 ringgit for food. Okay, 3 meals a day and things like that. So what exactly is Malacca like? For most of you, if you're not from Malacca, you probably passed through if you're on your way to Singapore, or you had a craving for chendol and some culture and you stopped by. Malacca is predominantly a tourist place, right? But as a result of that, I think it's made the Malaccan people very, very friendly and very accepting. And that's one of the reasons why they trust our dental students enough to actually come and be patient in our dental clinics. All right. We've got a very vibrant student life with consistent work. You will have time to indulge in your favorite sports, work out in the gym, take part in community service projects, learning seminars, or social events. Okay, you also have time to go do your shopping on your own, have a barbecue at the Klebang sand dunes, maybe at the end of every exam with your classmates, take a run along Malacca River, which is that picture of that man sitting there, the pink color one at the top. That's the Malacca River. It's got a very nice trail. You could walk or run. It's about 10 kilometers, one cycle from campus. Have coffee or a nice piece of cake at the many Instagrammable cafes in and around Malacca, or simply just walk down Jonker Street and feel yourself silly with many snacks and street food. So again, this is Manipal University College Malaysia, one of Malaysia's oldest and most established private medical and dental college. We are located in the multicultural city of Malacca, where the people welcome you as their own, where we have our own dental clinic seeing over 30,000 patients every year, thus providing you ample clinical exposure, and where we have a globally experienced faculty who will assist you in preparing for your specialization and destination of choice after you graduate. My name is Barbara. Here are my contact details, but also do visit us at our virtual fair booth. Okay, and if you'd like to know more about us, follow us on our social media, Manipal UC Malaysia. I repeat, Manipal UC Malaysia. And also tune in to our YouTube channel for our campus aerial view videos, because it's now FMCO. We can't invite you to campus to show you what it actually feels like. But also on our YouTube channel, many videos that we have done previously with our professors on the different fields of dentistry. So tune in and have a listen. That's all from me, Nina. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Barbara. That was very detailed explanation on the BDS program in MUCM. Let's take a look at the questions that we have. I'm going to scroll a little bit down the comment section there.
Okay. Well, the slides moving. It says one that was slides.
Yeah, the slides were moving. I think the students' internet connection probably had some little bit of instability right there.
Okay, let's start with the first one about money from Mr. Liu.
Okay.
Okay. When you open your own practice, it depends on the number of procedures that you're doing. You would like to be doing a variety of procedures because, scaling doesn't cost very much. Tooth extraction doesn't cost very much. So if you're only doing what we call scaling, tooth extraction, I forgot the other one where they fill the holes cavity. Okay, which comes to about 100 ringgit a procedure, a tooth, that sort of thing, then you're not going to be making very much money, because on average you'll be seeing only about 8 to 10 patients, and if you charge each one of them 100 ringgit, then that's 800 ringgit a day, assuming you open your clinic 5.5 days a week, and some days you don't get 8 patients, some days you only get 5 patients. Liu, you do the math, you're not going to be earning very much. So you want people to have confidence that you can do more than just scaling, filling, and tooth extraction. You want to be doing things like wisdom teeth extraction, which is more work on your time. It's got to have a lot of energy to pull that big fella out from the back. But you could charge anywhere upwards of 500, 600. A root canal, which would probably take about 2 hours of your time, but you could charge 800 ringgit. And again, the cost is quite low to you. It's your time. So when you open your own practice, it depends on where you are, how you do your promotion, because remember, no one's going to go to your business unless they know who you are and what you can do. So dentists cannot advertise, but you can do soft promos lah. Okay. I would think on average, you would be able to make about, take home easily 8 to 10,000. And when I say take home, this is excluding the rent for your dentist clinic, the payment of your nurse, your receptionist, the raw materials, the cost of the chair that you've bought and things like that. Okay, so it's still quite good. And as your skills grow, like I said, one implant costs 15,000 ringgit. So it depends on how you upskill yourself, right, Liu?
Ms. Barbara, I want to piggyback on this question a little bit. How do like private dentists charge? Is there like a regulation to certain procedures that's established? Do
Yes.
you mind explaining a little bit?
There is a fee schedule that the Dental Council publishes, just like the Medical Council publishes a fee schedule that says that for a normal cough and cold procedure, you cannot charge consultation fee of more than 25 ringgit, 35 ringgit,
Right.
that sort of thing. Okay, so there is also a fee schedule.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Ms. Barbara.
Okay.
Move on to the next one.
Okay. Oh, this is a very tough one. Challenges and excitement that revolves around dentistry. Okay, Sharif, first and foremost, I'm not a dentist, but I've been a dental patient many, many times. I've got numerous problems with my teeth, and I've also mixed with a lot of dentists. You can't help it when you're in on campus. You know, everybody is there. I think some of the challenge would be, let's start with the program. Some of the challenge would be the amount of academic knowledge that one needs to know. Okay, it's a lot, and there's no quick fix around it. There's no TikTok video series where it gives you one chapter in a 60-second TikTok video that you know everything. No, so you have to be very good at time managing in order for you to actually complete the amount of reading that you need to do. Okay, but the excitements would be the first time you extract a tooth, the first time you get your pediatric patient to actually sit still and not scream murder when you're trying to look at their mouth. So pediatric dentistry is a rotation that you have to do. We bring in the children from the nearby kindergartens without their moms and dads. So you have to do your stuff. So the first time that you actually find a way where the kid is not going and you can actually heal them, get rid of that pain. That's very exciting. The first time you do the various procedures, those are the excitements, right? And it's very fulfilling. And it's the same when you go into your career. If you have the passion, then you will see every patient as a unique situation, okay, and that you are doing something different to their life. And that itself will bring you that excitement and joy. Take me, for example, I have a condition called TMJ, which means that my jaw joints are screwed, okay? And as a result of that, I have limited mouth opening. The average person, and you can take a ruler and measure this, you're supposedly able to open your mouth to about 3 centimeter. It's about 3 centimeter, yeah? Your teeth, the gap between your teeth. Because of this condition, I can only do about 2, which means that eating a Big Mac is out of the question for me. Okay. And how I got this diagnosis was because I woke up with a persistent headache every day for 3 months. I was taking painkillers, and it was to the point that I thought, and an ENT surgeon thought that I had a brain tumor, and they were going to send me for a biopsy and scan my brain. Long and short of it, it turned out that it was my jaw, and it was a dentist that actually cured me. Okay, and when that dentist heard of the amount of pain medication that I had been taking for 3 months, she was so relieved that she was able to give me a diagnosis, make a mouth brace for me so that I didn't have to be reliant on painkillers anymore. Because as we all know, if I went down that road, I will end up being a liver cancer patient. So, how you find excitement is how you see your passion. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Mrs. Barbara. We can move on to the next few ones.
Yes. Okay, Zul. I heard that dentists have a more chill schedule than doctors. Is it true? Zul, yes and no. If you are a dentist in private practice, i.e. working for a clinic setup, obviously the clinic has got opening and closing times. Okay. If you own that practice, better still. You can decide when you want to open for business and when you don't want to open for business. So, in that sense, it is more chill than a doctor, but a doctor in private practice can do the same as well. If you're a dentist in the public practice, i.e. in the hospitals, and there are two specialist areas where you actually do work in the hospital as a dentist, which is if you're a pediatric dentist or you are an oral maxillofacial surgeon, then you'll be based primarily in the hospital. Then your schedule is not more chill. It is as crazy as a doctor. Just to give you an example how that works. If you go out, Zol, to the mama with your friend, and then there's a disagreement over the bill. Your friend said you had 2 extra pesos a night than him, so no, cannot split the bill even. And you get upset, and then you get into a scuffle, and your friend throws a punch here and breaks your jaw. You then go to the emergency in the hospital, and the person that actually fixes you is the oral maxillofacial surgeon. It's a dentist. If you are involved in a car accident, anyone involving in a car accident, and any laceration that involves this part, and even the insides, sometimes people fly through the windscreen and the glass just, the one that stitches all this up is not the plastic surgeon, it's the dental surgeon. Okay, so it depends on what setup you're in. So you can have a more chilled schedule, but if you thrive on chaos, then stay in the public hospital, not a blood, gore, and lose teeth.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ms. Barbara. I think we just move on to the next one.
Yes.
Next couple ones.
Will there be an exam prior to HO? Nina, you still there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Sharaf, as a Malaysian medical graduate, graduating from a university that is recognized by MQA and Malaysian Dental Council, our graduates are not required to take a qualifying exam before they can start their housemanship. Okay. Having said that, dentistry is a highly regulated profession. So if you're wishing to use your degree obtained in Malaysia to say work in Singapore, let's just take Singapore for example, you actually have to take a qualifying exam in order for you to be licensed to practice in Singapore. Okay, so depending on the country that you're thinking of going to, different countries have got different regulations, but the majority of it is there is a qualifying exam. The qualifying exam is 2 parts. The first part is theory, the second part is clinical. Okay, and you have to pass both in order for that country's dental council to give you a dental license, so that if you have found a job with a dental practice there, or you are opening your own dental practice, which is very, very hard, I would not encourage that. Go work for somebody if you're thinking of going overseas. Don't go there and open on your own first, okay? Then you need to have that qualifying exam.
All right. Just to piggyback on that one, just a quick one with Barbara. Why do you say that it's harder for a Malaysian dental surgeon to open a private office in another country? Like, is there do they have to retake anything again? Like, how?
Okay.
How is the process like?
Firstly, there is that qualifying exam.
Okay.
Right. But the qualifying exam is a walk in the park for our graduates because we set you to a very high standard.
Okay.
But the more important thing is your practice is a business. It is not like you could put a chair under a tree in the park and hang a sign that says dentist open. No. You'll be running a business, which means that you will be making significant investments in a country where you are unknown.
Right.
Okay. It's just like us. When we go and buy something, we buy from people we know. Correct?
Right,
okay.
Right.
So if you're there, then it's very hard for you, especially in something like dentistry, where it's a very personalized thing. You have to get your networking done. You have to know people. You have to have people know you, what you're capable of. So, if you're thinking of going overseas, then get a job in the hospital there as a dentist, or a job in a clinic where the profit and loss monthly is someone else's problem. It's not your problem yet, before you go into a business and making it your problem.
Okay. All right. I think that answers my question. Thanks, Ms. Barbara.
All right. The next one is the requirement to study MBBS and BDS the same. June, it is the same with the only difference being for MBBS, biology and chemistry are compulsory subjects. Whereas for BDS, we will take from bio, chem, physics, and math. Okay? All right. So, to become a doctor, you have to be good in bio and chem. No two ways about it. But if for some reason you're good in maths, physics, don't want to be an engineer, likes chemistry, and you meet the grades, then you can go into dentistry.
All right. Okay.
Okay. All right. Next question. Oh, the questions are getting very, very technical. Okay. Yes, Sarah. How do you see the future market? Is it saturated, having more supply of dental clinics? Yes, there's a lot of dental clinics around, no doubt about it. But the thing is, there are still many places where there is no dental services. Okay, so again, we've not reached the ratio that WHO has prescribed, where the number of dentists to the number of population, we're actually not quite there. But I think, Sarah, the issue is dentistry services are very much centered around the big cities. So there's opportunities still in the rural areas, okay, where dental health is equally important to them. Doesn't mean that you stay out in the kampong, you don't need to take care of your teeth. That's not true. It's a vital part of you.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, another one. What subspecialization can a dentist further enroll onto in the future? Before we talk about subspecialization, let's talk about specializations.
Yeah.
Okay, there are many fields of specializations that you can go into. Community dentistry, where you work in terms of public health education, human disease, pediatric dentistry, orthodontics, oral pathology, periodontics, prosthodontics, oral maxillofacial surgery, endodontics. These are the fields of specialization that a dentist can go into. Each of them have got a different meaning. For example, braces is orthodontics. To do with gums is endodontics, that sort of thing. So there's no rush to find out right now which area of specialization you want to go into. You'll be exposed to all this during the course of your degree. And from there, you can see whether or not you have a calling in that direction.
All right. All right. I think there's no more questions from the audience, but I have a few questions that I've sort of prepared while watching your presentation. I hope that's okay.
That's fine.
Barbara? All right. Let me just bring them. I think I wrote that down somewhere. All right. So just now during your presentation, you were mentioning something about the oral cavity, and you talked about there'll be a crossover with medicine when doing dentistry. What kind of, could you give an example of this? Because I was just curious, wouldn't your concern only be about the mouth? And what kind of crossover with medicine would a dentist student have to learn?
Sorry, could you repeat that question again?
All right, so in your slide,
you asked me at like medicine.
All right, okay. So in your slides, you're mentioning about how there'll be a crossover with medicine when doing dentistry. Yes, so I was just
oral
curious.
physician.
Yes,
Why we say that we are training oral physician? Okay, so the mouth, as you know, is made up of your lips, your muscles, your bone structure, your teeth, your gums, the nerves, and everything. So there are nerves that goes down into your teeth, the back of your jaws, and stuff like that. These are intersection points. Okay, so anything to do with the mouth is where a dentist comes in. I think one of the best examples I can give you for clarity would be cancer patients. Okay. Morbid subject, but I think almost everyone tuning in here would have had encountered with a cancer patient. And as you know, one of the most common side effects from chemotherapy is mouth ulcers.
Okay.
Okay, mouth ulcers, which then renders the patient unable to eat because it's painful. Now, we've all had one too many durians and we've all developed an ulcer. And when you have an ulcer, it's very, very painful. But with chemotherapy, it's rampant all throughout the mouth. A lot of people will say that, but that's an oncologist problem. That's actually not an oncologist problem. The oncologist is only responsible for giving you the treatment to beat your cancer. Okay, this is actually under the purview of a dentist. A dentist would be able to give you medication that would help you take care of these ulcers, even though it is a result of chemotherapy, but it is still mouth ulcers. A dentist would be able to teach you methods on how to still keep up your nutrition, even though it's painful to eat.
I see.
So that's one intersection point. Another one would be there are certain diseases. Okay, there are certain diseases where there is symptoms showing that would actually show itself on your teeth and gums. All right, for example, diabetes and stuff like that, or pregnant women. And that's where, if you are a dentist who is trained to be an oral physician, okay, a pregnant woman comes to you and she needs a tooth extracted, you're not just going to give her the run-of-the-mill tooth extraction, because you know that there are certain conditions that you need to take care of because she's pregnant. Or if your patient is diabetic, then you know that you can't just go and do any procedure because they would have problems with the wound healing. So if they've got a toothache, you have to do your best to save that tooth. Otherwise, if you pull out that tooth, that wound may not heal, because that's one of the effects of diabetes. You have problems wound healing. So that's how a oral physician thinks. It's more of a concept of thinking, okay, not just doing. It's a concept of thinking. So, when you look at your patient, even if you're not in the hospital, in your own clinic, when you look at the patient and you take their history, then you know that, okay, these are the things I need to be conscious of because it's been drilled into you in your degree.
I see. All right. Thanks so much, Ms. Barbara. Now, my next few questions will be about how MUCM the programs and how it navigates in the pandemic. I think just a quick one on the practical lessons. Then for dentistry, you showed slides on the clinical lab, the phantom head, and the constructing of own set of teeth. So how did the students navigate this during the lockdown, and how they are unable to visit the clinical labs?
Okay, so we fall into the category of institutions, that actually can have students on campus. Okay, of course, now being FMCO, all labs are suspended. But before this, before FMCO, when it was MCO and we could have students on campus, lectures were done online. And when you had to go and play with your phantom heads and build your teeth, you go into the lab. The groups are broken into a smaller group so that we can cater for social distancing. So as you could see just now, the heads were all like next to each other. They're less than a meter apart. So we had to split the groups into smaller groups so that in one row there's 4 heads but only 2 students.
I see.
Yeah. And the same with the clinical years. They're still learning the procedures. They're still doing things, but it is all by appointment. So our clinic used to accept walk-ins. But with this pandemic, we can no longer accept walk-ins. So all our patients are pre-screened, and then they're giving a fixed appointment date, and then they come and we do the procedure.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Ms. Barbara. Just a last one. I noticed earlier with the admission process for BDS, a quick question. Why is there an admission interview for BDS but not MBBS? Isn't this field a lifelong field? So why is there a different sort of requirement when it comes to the admission for this program?
Both medicine and dentistry have an admissions interview.
Right. Oh, yeah. I see. Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks, Ms.
Both
Barbara.
actually have. Yeah. There's one question that's come in.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any idea for student to guarantee that they are into the program for sure, since there are a lot of students? Sebastian, there's no guarantee that there is a seat. So I think this comes down to the 75 seats and the highly competitive thing. As I've been saying, we have a foundation program. So we actually give first right of refusal to our foundation students. And fortunately, the number of students in foundation wanting to do dentistry is not that high. They're all still very much going for medicine, but we're actually seeing a trend change this year. I'm almost half and half. Half coming to foundation is choosing dentistry and half into medicine. So I don't know, a lot of people growing the love for teeth. Maybe it's the lockdown. Right? So there's no guarantee, Sebastian. It's really of first come, first serve. Siapa cepat, siapa dapat type of concept. So Sebastian, if you're thinking of joining us, please make your way to our booth or get in touch with us so that we can see how you can make an application. I would be honest with our viewers today. Our dentistry intake for September 2021, we've got about 15 seats left. So that's not many. With the A levels just finishing, the STPM results coming out, matriculation SEM 2 results coming out, there's going to be a bit of a mad scramble for this 15 seats. So if you've already done your pre-U and you're thinking of joining us, please get in touch. We hate to put you on the wait list, but it may well come to that.
Okay, all right. Then we have another one from the audience.
A lot of people asking about scholarships.
I'll just
Unfortunately, I have honestly not come across anybody offering dentistry scholarship except for JPA. And even from JPA, that's significantly reduced. This is because it's not one of those fields that whoever who gives you a scholarship can bond you to. For example, there's nothing in it for Petronas if Petronas were to give you a scholarship or Maxis. You can't work for them. You can't give back. Okay. Same with telecoms or Tenaga. So the only scholarship provider that I can think of that actually gives scholarship for dentistry, apart from the institution itself, would be JPA, where you are then bonded to work in the government clinic pergigian or in the government hospitals for 10 years.
All right. All right. I think that's the only questions we have from the audience, Ms. Barbara. Just to wrap things up, just a quick one. Do you have any parting words of advice for aspiring dentists who are anxious about this next big step in their journey?
You really got to ask yourself, okay, that nobody can answer this question for you. Why is it that you want to become a dentist? And once you're happy enough with that answer and you think that answer is an answer that will sustain you through the 5 years of your studies, then go for it. But do ensure that you pick a good place to do it, because at the end of the day, it's the skills. It's kind of like driving a car. Okay, you go to the driving school where they've got a high pass rate, where they don't get their license and knock down a motorbike, that sort of thing. So do your homework, shop around, ask smart questions.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Barbara. I think we've come to the end of the session. Yeah. Thank you for your insights and perspective. We hope that the audience has gained some valuable information from this session. Ms. Barbara, it's a joy to have you on board with us. Thank you for sharing with us about dentistry on this session.
Good to be back.
Yes.
All right. And take care.
Yes. Hope to see you in our upcoming sessions if you have us again. All right. Thank you, Ms. Barbara. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right. Thank you to our audience for joining our webinar session with Ms. Barbara of MUCM. If you're at the fair, do visit MUCM's virtual booth and check out all the offering programs and scholarships that's available. Just a quick one before we end the session. Let's have a look and see what MUCM has prepared for you. All right, that's all we have for today. It's been a pleasure, and thank you to our audience for tuning into EduAdvisor's webinar series. We hope you gained some insightful and inspiring information to pursue your dream courses. Don't forget to check out EduAdvisor's Visual Education Store and get all the information you need. Just click chat at the respective universities or go on to the info desk and speak to our counselors personally. Hope to see you again. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.